Alright there folks, hello there, this is Alan recording another comprehensive Magic the Gathering Arena Draft video, and Happy New Year's guys! It's time for me to finally get some Premier Draft Crimson Val on my channel. I've been doing a lot of this in paper, not so much on Arena, so yeah, I think I've kind of got this format solved now after seeing a couple of really excellent Twitch drafters, and I've done this multiple times already. But yeah, Happy New Year's, and shout out to my friend Dan Holmes for inviting the Las Vegas draft group for a awesome draft after New Year's. We did double Throne of Eldraine plus Mystery Booster. Had the chance to even do more like Cons of Tarkir and Modern Horizons 1, but most people were tired by the end of the day. But yeah, awesome New Year's. So let's kickstart this off and finally get some Crimson Val on the channel. And just a quick overview of this draft. I think red is the best color. It's not as imbalanced as it was in Midnight Hunt, where in Midnight Hunt all you did was mainly force blue-black or sometimes blue-white. But the best color in that format was undoubtedly blue, and the blue-black were definitely a tier above the rest of the other colors. In this format, red is the best, but it's not by much that you don't draft the worst two colors in this format, which are both blue and green. Either way, black is still strong, so I believe that's going to be a pretty contested color in double feature when both sets are combined when it comes out in a couple of weeks. We're going to start with Dollhouse of Horror. It's a colorless card, and it's just great in any deck if you have enough creatures. Yeah, it's kind of expensive because you do want to just pay this on turn 5 and activate it immediately for 6 mana, but again, it's just really strong being able to just bring back any creature from your graveyard if it has good enter the battlefield effects or various abilities. It makes it so that you can double up on the value. So Dollhouse of Horrors is going to be my first pick. Second pick, the cards in consideration would be Brambleworm, which I do like over Wolfkin Outcasts and the Falconraft Celebrants. Since I'm biased more towards red, I might lean towards the Celebrants. Green is considered a worse color in this format, not because the commons or uncommons aren't great. It's just that you can get punished by efficient interaction in this format, like the last one. So tapping out for an expensive card isn't great, can get punished quite heavily, but we'll start out with Dollhouse of Horrors. Following up Dollhouse of Horrors, I think we just want to stick with a monocolor card over Valspawn Spider. And then between the white commons here, I think Traveling Minister is the best one. There's other good commons here like Diregraph Scavenger and Wolf Strike, but I still have Traveling Minister as one of the top 5 commons in the set. Whereas a card like Diregraph Scavenger, Fierce Retribution, and Drogskull Infantry are still like maybe top 10. I still think I have Traveling Minister a tier above the rest. Diregraph Scavenger can play well with Dollhouse of Horror, of course, but due to the fact that due to the ranking considerations, I think I like Traveling Minister the most. Wolf Strike is a good green common, but I don't think it's the best one. It's just kind of clunky, and then usually the secondary color you want to pair of green has the better interaction. So I'm kind of just liking Traveling Minister here, and then hopefully this pans out. Alright, the best card in this pack is Voltaic Visionary. I do like Markov Retribution in the Black-Red Vampires deck, but outside of it, it isn't great. Weaver Blossoms is a better green common, I think, over Wolf Strike, and potentially the best green common if you want to do some sort of green ramp strategy. But again, I think red's the best color, and Voltaic Visionary is a nice 2-drop you can play on curve, and then in the later games you can activate the ability to draw a card. Keep in mind, with creatures that transform, you can't transform their token halves. So if I reanimate this with the Dollhouse of Horrors, it won't transform, but you can still use the tap ability over and over, I guess, to keep exiling cards and drawing cards. So this is awesome. We'll take Visionary here over Weaver Blossoms, which would be my secondary choice. Not a big fan of Red-White, since Red-White mostly doesn't care about synergy and is mostly just a deck that's looking to mostly just to be aggressive, but that's fine. Here, the cards in consideration, we could take a dual land. in case we end up splashing or end up drafting blue-red, which I think is good. Can maybe take a Fearful Villager as an off chance that we just end up red-green or just a fine 3-drop. And then there's Wedding Invitation, which does overperform and great in a black-red deck. Overall, the card quality of this pack isn't high, and there's not much I'm really interested in. So I could just take a random dual land in case we end up splashing or going blue-red. There's nothing that maybe makes me want to move into red-white. If I knew I had more vampires, I might consider this, or if I knew I was red-green, I would consider this. So let's just take a Stormcarved Coast. Other than that, it's just a rare for 50 gems. Alright, we can take maybe Weaver Blossoms. Hamlet Vanguard is still fine in red-green, since werewolves do count as humans, but outside of a red-green deck, it's not that great. Since if their creatures transform into werewolves, this can be kind of awkward at times. So maybe we can consider Weaver Blossoms. There's also Gluttonous Guess. That's going to be as best in the red-black vampires deck. But getting past some green cards is a sign that maybe green is the more open color, and we want to maybe end up in werewolves instead. So I'm kind of liking Weaver Blossoms. It's just very flexible, can allow us to go multicolor, and then by picking up the dual land, it just pairs very well with it. So let's try Weaver here. And then now maybe we can take an Evolving Wilds for more fixing and multicolor shenanigans if we end up base green. Don't really care about the Distracting Geist that much. And then the discussion would be probably the best comment in this pack if we knew we were red-black vampires. But let's just take Evolving Wilds and stay open still. Okay, pretty late. Runebound Wolf. So there's a chance we can still end up red-green, and this card can pay us off as a nice mana sink in the late game. There's also Ancestral Anger, which I do like a lot in blue-red, as well as Wedding Invitation in the Vampires deck. But we'll take Runebound Wolf as a sign that the Werewolf archetype is open, and maybe move into it, and it's still a pretty good archetype. Now, not much. I guess we can consider Alchemist Retrieval if we end up red-blue. I'm not a big fan of the Frenzied Devils. Cruel Witness is fine in red-blue, but it's a little bit rough to cast with double blues at times, and it's just very medium. There's also Undying Malice, too, for red-black, but I think we just take Alchemist Retrieval since black is mostly contested, and we didn't see any other great black cards outside of Gluttonous Guest. So down to just take an Alchemist Retrieval as a speculation. Maybe blue-red is open, and now Hookhand Mariner pretty late. Okay. Pretty good green common. So yeah, we have potential options to move into some specific either blue-red or red-green. But seeing this late is a sign we should just maybe base our decisions off being base green. And I'll take a Reckless Impulse here. Career Bat is going to be at its best in a black-white life gain deck. Reckless Impulse is not as best in the red-green deck since you're going to be playing a lot of expensive creatures, and this can be awkward, but it's fine in the late game, better in the blue-red deck with more cheap creatures. Still going to take it here because it's the best card. And then we'll just take a Bloodpell Celebrant as a random 2-drop. Fine playing this in any red deck, best in red-black. Don't care about the Pyrespawn or Alchemist Gambit. Don't know if I'll play this, but put in the sideboard in case we don't have enough fours. Not a big fan of Lightning Wolf. Also not sure if I'll play Dawnhart Disciple, but it's a filler 2-drop if we need one. Okay, alright. Maybe we just end up red-green. Maybe splashing a third color. We'll see. Okay, a Roof is nice, but there's also Child of the Pact here. Man, I hate seeing both of these cards in the same pack. A Roof is quite powerful for straight-up blue-red, but as we saw in the previous pack, we got past a Hookhand Mariner pretty late. So I can assume that we want to commit to red-green more. I could also just take Weaver Blossoms to stay open, but if I know I'm in red-green, I think the Child of the Pact is a much more powerful card. And if we do end up splashing, if this Roof still ends up around the table and blue-red is open, we can still end up splashing it off of these cards. But I think these cards are both close in power level, and knowing that I'm maybe much more inclined to be in red-green, I'm fine taking Child of the Pact. So, yeah, let's just take it here, and maybe end up 3 colors if we need to be. Maybe cut the Bloodpell Celebrant since it's not a werewolf, and pick up some better 2-drop werewolves later. And yeah, Pack Sun Pup is a great 2-drop for the werewolf deck. There's also Brine-Comber, one of the multicolor uncommons that I don't mind first picking over even single-color uncommons. Like Blood-Type Harvester, Brine-Comber, and Wandering Mine are high upon my list. We'll take this here over Wolf Strike, which will be my second pick. But yeah, Pack Sun Pup is a nice pickup. So now we can safely commit to red-green, which is a good archetype. And speaking of werewolves, don't mind a Lampholt Racketeer. It's best in blue-red, but, it's still a werewolf, so I don't mind taking it. And a 4-mana 2/4 isn't the worst body to play. If it transforms, it becomes a 4/4, which isn't bad. I can see replacing this with a Hookhand Mariner if we get them more later, but, it's still fine, so I'll take it here. And it's still a good card in blue-red if we somehow magically end up there. Alright, just take a Hungry Ridge Wolf here, another card that reward us for going red-green. And not much, anything too exciting. Some fine black cards, but they're not exciting at all. And not a big fan of Magma Pummeler, but you know what? It's still a fine creature you can ramp into, and kind of plays best in the red-green deck. If you have a ton of mana, ramping into this isn't bad. Alternatively, I don't really care that much about Ceremonial Knife, even though it's access to blood. We can always pick up one of these later, and I think the card has been overrated at this point in the game. So take a Magma Pummeler, fine creature we can ramp into. I can also see myself not playing this card if I pick up better top end. Don't hate Snarling Wolf. Sometimes we can have some aggressive curve outs, and this is fine. Power Spawn is just worse than a Flourishing Hunter. Also seeing some late blue cards, but also not going to pass up some good green cards. Ooh, Biolumig, but we'll probably just take Falkenrath Celebrants. This card is pretty good, but only if you can exploit it. But definitely don't sleep on Biolumig, but going to take the Falkenrath Celebrants here. Even though now Werewolf, just an excellent 5-drop in any red deck. The 2 blood in the late game can literally almost be 5-mana draw 2, since by discarding lands, you can prevent a bit of flood. Now I'm going to take Fearful Villager since we are lacking in the 3-drop department, and this is a werewolf. Ancestral Anger is best in the blue-red deck, and this card can get really powerful multiples, especially along Kessig Flame Breather. Take this, and yeah, speaking of Kessig Flame Breather, I'm still going to take it here, because there's nothing else too exciting in this pack I care about. In the off chance we still end up blue-red, or pick up a million impulses, but you never know. And going to take another Fearful Villager as a good 3-drop. Scar Thoughts pretty late, but I feel like we're again settled in red-green. So what are we lacking? Removal. We could use some Abrades, some Wolf Strikes, some Flame Blessed Bolts. And then we could also use one more top-end threat, maybe a Flourishing Hunter, to help round out this deck would be pretty awesome as well. So we got the creature portion covered. We just need some removal and interaction, and this deck is set. So going to prioritize that pretty highly in the next pack. Dollhouse is also nice value with some of these creatures. Usually you don't want to build around Dollhouse since there's enough good creatures in every color with Enter the Battlefield effects, or even some flyers. This pack is a whiff. Man, I don't even know why I would first pick out this pack. All these cards are pretty awful. There's Lay to Rest, I guess, for green-white. But we're probably just going to take another Hungry Ridge Wolf here. Yeah, this pack sucks. Yeah, I don't even know why I would first pick. Maybe Infantry as a above-average 2-drop. But yeah, I would be pretty embarrassed opening this. At least Hungry Ridge Wolf is a 2-drop we can play. Right, now we're going to take Wolf Strike here since we're lacking interaction. Wolfkin Outcast would be my secondary choice since it rewards us for werewolves and can draw us cards if we trade them off, but we're not going to pass up a Wolf Strike at this point in the game. In the draft, I mean. We need removal, and without it, we'd be pretty screwed. And another Pack Sun Pup is great. I would kindly take an Abrade or Flame Blessed Bolt over it, but we're going to take 2 Pack Sun Pups, and then if we're able to curve this out consistently, it's just going to help us win the game if they can't answer it. So perfect pick here. If this wasn't his pack, probably take another Mariner as an excellent 4-drop. But Pack Sun Pup it is. As now, what do we get here? Maybe Spore Crawler. Not a wolf, but it's a 3/2 that trades off. Could even consider splashing maybe Imprisonment off of this, which isn't a bad idea. But I'm just kind of liking the Spore Crawler here. Just an attacker that can trade off is fine, and we don't really have any dual lands to go with our Imprisonment. So I'll take the Spore Crawler. It's still a good card. If this wasn't his pack, I would maybe consider splashing for the Imprisonment. Ooh, wow. Caretaker, pick 5. No one's drafting green. Okay, now we get rewarded. One of the biggest bombs in the set. And yeah, it's also a top-end threat. So yeah, it seems like this table knows how to draft accordingly. But yeah, this was a gift. And if it turns nighttime and we are a pretty high life total, we just win the game. So Averbrook Caretaker was a nice gift. Pick 5. Wow. Okay, and it's a werewolf too. This card just does everything. The slam dunk bomb. And now maybe we can take a Flourishing Hunter. We should have enough 2s here. I'm fine just having another top-end creature. We can maybe cut the Magma Pummeler, since I don't care about that much. We have enough 2s, yeah. These are all good enough. I don't care about a Hungry Ridgewolf. Flourishing Hunter is impactful enough that I'm going to take it as another good 6-drop. Don't care about Spike Ripsaw. I think it's pretty bad. Maybe if we can't deal with flyers, a copy of Apprentice Sharpshooter can help us stall the ground a bit while we get aggressive. So we'll see. Spike Ripsaw is a little bit awkward. The thing is, if we're going to be playing large creatures, you don't really want to have equipments. Equipments go better with cheap creatures, and the equip cost on Spike Ripsaw is just really expensive. So, yeah. This might be a game where a deck where we end up splashing Alchemist Revival, given that we don't have a ton of interaction. But we'll see. This is a deck that's mostly looking to just curve out and beat down. Maybe a second Snarling Wolf isn't the worst. Nature's Embrace is pretty bad, even if it helps us ramp. I think I'll take a Snarling Wolf here. This could also just be a deck where we just barely have any removal, and then we just curve out and try to get there. Trade off some creatures, attack, and take it slow. But yeah, no interaction. I don't think it's wrong splashing for, okay, now maybe another Flourishing Hunter. We don't have a ton of ramp in this deck, though. So maybe we just need to play, ooh, okay, gonna play the Lacerate Flesh, definitely need that in the deck. Maybe a Crushing Canopy. Don't actually mind main decking this. Maybe it's better than the Apprentice Sharpshooter. Since there's also some enchantments I don't mind destroying in a set. Because, like, our creatures are definitely good enough here. We just need, again, interaction. So, I could splash the Alchemist Retrieval. Could play Sure Strike, actually. Yeah, Sure Strike isn't wrong. So I guess this can function as a removal spell. So that was a pretty nice late gift for the deck. So, yeah, maybe something like this. And then we can maybe throw in maybe we can throw in the Crushing Canopy as a way to interact with a flyer, potentially. Like, again, the deck is set. We don't have a ton of ramp to maybe play a second Flourishing Hunter. And by playing more expensive cards, our Reckless Impulse gets worse, which I'm definitely looking to play a copy of. So in terms of interaction, not the best, but still reasonable. We're just maybe the game plan is just to look to curve out aggressively and close out the game as quick as possible. So let's see here. Looking at the sideboard, again, I don't want a second copy of Flourishing Hunter. Our deck probably is good enough. We have Childhood Pack as a late game mana sink. And then we have 2 late drop creature spells already. We don't have a ton of ramp. Only 1 copy of Weaver Blossom, so I can justify not having Flourishing Hunter. The Crushing Canopy and the Apprentice Sharpshooter could also be main deckable. I would probably prefer the Crushing Canopy, since it's a way to just kill a flyer immediately and has the flexibility of killing an enchantment. So I actually don't think main decking this is wrong. Don't care about the Dawnheart. We have enough 2s. Snarling Wolf is a little bit unexciting in the late game. There's an argument for Pummeler, but again, just same argument for not having the second Flourishing Hunter. It just requires a ton of ramp, and we don't have a lot of ramp along with the Power Spawn. I could see the argument for Bloody Betrayal. We don't have a way to sack creatures, but sometimes, like, if we're just looking to kill the opponent quickly, we could use Bloody Betrayal as a way to kind of close out the late game. I definitely don't want it early in my hand, but sometimes if we can just pound you, we can just do a ton of damage. we can just use this to take a blocker out of way and steal the victory. So there's an argument for Bloody Betrayal, plus it makes a blood token as well. So this isn't bad. And our curve is looking fine already. Enough 1 drop, 2 drops, 3 drops. I don't need to throw in any of these filler creatures. So between Crushing Canopy and Bloody Betrayal, which one do we want? I think this is a deck that could benefit from a Bloody Betrayal. It is a high variance card. You don't want it early, and sometimes it can be awkward, but it can be a potential way to close out the game, especially if we get in huge chunks of damage with Pax on Pup, or we just need to get in the blocker to get in that 1 turn to attack. So Bloody Betrayal isn't bad. And then looking at our mana base, I think it's kind of even split, slightly favoring red. So I think 8/8 is still good. Let's give this a shot, see how it goes. And Kara Drake Taker pick 5 was a really nice late gift. I like the Snarling Wolf because it's just a werewolf to play on turn 1 with the Pack Song Pups. I don't like 2 copies of it because it is kind of awkward. Because if you aren't going to use this mana to pup itself in the early game, attacking for 1 isn't great. Since if you're going to curve out with the Snarling Wolf, 1 drop and a 2 drop, you won't be activating ability as much. So this is an awkward keep. We don't have enough lands to keep our 6 drops. We can only play Snarling Wolf. There's no guarantee for red mana, so I think it's a mulligan. This hand is also not great, but at least we can ramp with Weaver Blossoms. So I don't mind just bombing the Hungry Ridgewolf, keeping all 3 of these, and taking it from there. Ridgewolf can maybe attack for 3, but I think Runebound Wolf is better in the late game and has a much more unique effect. Although I could see myself cutting this, since let's just say we have mana to use the Child attack, but I guess if it transforms we don't. Yeah, you know what, Hungry Ridgewolf can probably go. And then we'll lead with the Runebound Wolf instead. There's an argument for having the Hungry Ridgewolf since it again deals more damage if we're able to play our werewolves, but I think I'd rather have the unique effect of Runebound Wolf activating and kind of a must-kill threat in the late game. But yeah, definitely can't afford to cut a land. So now this dies, I might get punished here for bottoming the Runebound, the Wolf, since I might not get a land for Weaver, but we drew a Hungry Ridgewolf anyway, so that's fine. Do I block and trade? I think I do. And hope he doesn't have any tricks. Since taking 3 is kind of bad. Opponent has a second Harvester, so he probably have a nuts black-red deck. Okay, land isn't bad, so probably just play this, take 3, and say go. He could also sacrifice the Harvester to take out the Weaver to deny me mana, which I don't think it's wrong, but he's attacking with it. So that's fine. And then now, interesting, I could play the Celebrants. I could also play Child. I could also Wolf Strike the 3/2. A lot of options. So I have 6 mana available. If I play Child, there's a chance he doesn't make a blood token, another blood token to take out the Child, and I think I like Child more than Falcon Wraps. I could also maybe force him to sacrifice the Harvester to take this out and save Wolf Strike for later. I don't know. This is interesting. If I Wolf Strike, he could have interaction, but a 3/4 is hard to deal with. He could also have the Undying Malice. You know what? I think I Wolf Strike regardless. If he had Undying Malice, he would use it last turn. He's just holding up the mana here, and this was nice. So now I can safely attack for 5, and then these creatures will survive, and they're going to be a little bit more impactful later. So this was a nice turn for us. And Poe misses a land drop. Alright, so now I could play a 4-drop and just attack. And I think I will, because getting in for 3 damage is nice. And I'll play Child here, since it also is a 5/5 and it pumps the Weaver of Blossoms. And getting in 4 for 4 is no joke, so this is kind of a way to beat the Vampires deck. Hope they miss their land drops and just smash. Socialite is great, but he doesn't have any good blocks. So probably just going to attack with both, play Falkenrath Celebrants, and it's probably going to be game over next turn. Since there's no sweepers in red-black, I need to worry about. And if he plays any bombs here, I can still attack and kill him. So, yep. Luckily, the opponent missed his land drops that game, and we were able to deal the Harvester. Because if we didn't deal the Harvester, he could have just sacked the Harvester and taken out my 5 mana 4/4, which would have been a huge tempo lost. Like I would have held on to the Wolf Strike, but if I didn't have any creatures anyways to use the Wolf Strike on, it was kind of a weird card. So I think it was fine taking out the Harvester, and there wasn't really, and the 3/4 would have survived any removal spell he would have had anyways. The worst case scenario was maybe an Undying Malice to bring back the 3/2, but I think it was, but that was, yeah, that would be a worst case scenario, but I'm not going to play around that, so. Alright. Opponent had an insane black-red Bloods deck, it seemed like, double Harvester, and then also the Bloodcrazed Socialite. Didn't care about the Bloodsworn Squire that much, but it's still a decent 4-drop in the black-red deck. Alright, opening hand. Alright, Hungry Ridgewolf, and the Hungry Ridgewolf isn't the worst. So I think I'm missing on some green mana, but we'll draw into it later. Opponent's playing black. Alright. I think it's a little bit... I honestly think it's a second or maybe the third best color in this format. But people do overrate it enough that they would consider not drafting red for it, and I don't know if that's a mistake or not. So we'll lead with a Hungry Ridgewolf since Visionary is better in the late game. And we can still attack for 3 next turn with the Fearful Villager. So, alright, I guess the opponent's digging for his second color. Maybe see a Gift of Fangs, and there it is. So he's going to start discarding here to maybe hit his land drops. Maybe discard creatures now, so he can bring them back with Blood Fountain. So just drawing a bunch of black mana. The Restless Bloodseer is annoying if he can gain life, but if he doesn't gain life, it's nothing I need to concern about myself too much. Alright, so yeah, this is awkward. I guess I might just play another Hungry Ridgewolf, or I can play Visionary. Visionary can maybe hit a land next turn, but it can be awkward if I don't. I think Ridgewolf is fine. I'm hoping he doesn't transform this. If he does, it's going to be annoying. But he can always get it back later. So, alright, we'll play the Runebound Wolf, and I think attack for 3. He could also kill my Runebound Wolf, and then... yeah, he probably has a removal spell for this Runebound Wolf, yep. At least he uses a premium removal spell on it, and this doesn't die. So finally has red mana for a Celebrants. So I probably need to keep up a Sure Strike on defense. Yeah, this is rough. Alright, green mana isn't bad, so now Paxson Pup can maybe get into the picture. I think I keep up Sure Strike here just to be safe. I could also just attack, and then if he blocks, I use Sure Strike. Why not? Because I can always use Sure Strike with a Paxson Pup on defense. So this might dissuade attack. Actually, this has Menace, so never mind. That was maybe a bad choice. But I'm fine if the Blood-Soaked Reveler actually attacks. So I can block and First Strike it. And hope he doesn't top deck and get lucky. So I think this is okay. Hopefully no Flame Blessed Bolt to blow me out. Alright, this is fine. He might activate. He didn't activate it, so he might be deciding to use a Blood Fountain. So I guess this turn we just want to race. I could also just kill the Falkenrath Celebrants. If he doesn't get a land, he won't be able to sack the Blood Fountain to get anything back. I could also play Dollhouse. I think I Lacerate here just to buy some time. He does get more blood, but then I can apply a ton of pressure constantly, and taking 6 is not great. So next turn I can still Dollhouse, maybe sub Dollhouse, bring some creatures back. I don't know if I want to trade off the Paxson Pup necessarily, but the thing is, if I trade off the Paxson Pup, I'll still be able to bring it back and start growing it again. So actually trading this off isn't the worst. So now what? Can move the combat attack, he double blocks. Could also just play Dollhouse and start, and just to be mana efficient, I think I'll do that. And then I guess I don't mind trading and just bringing back the Paxson Pup. Yeah, could be fine. The Reveler is annoying. Or not. Could just say go. I'm fine just trading it off just to buy some time because he's just going to play the Falkenrath Celebrants anyways. So this is fine, we can trade this off. Gain some life. And then we also can just bring back the Paxson Pup anyways. So, yep. And it can start growing again next turn. Kind of sucks that he can keep bringing everything back, but it is what it is. So that's also the advantage of black, just being able to, again, keep bringing stuff back. Ooh, Averbrook Caretaker, there it is. Yeah, we'll just cast an Averbrook Caretaker. And then, yeah, GG's. Alright, that was sweet. Nice top deck. And even if Averbrook Caretaker dies, remember we have Dollhouse of Horrors to bring it back. So, against a busted black-red deck, you kind of need your bombs in your other colors, since black-red is the best archetype. So, another black-red opponent down, thank God. This hand is kind of sketchy. Not sure if I want it. We do need to hit our 4th land to get something going. But we're on the play, so hopefully we can get a 4th land to block the ground. Like, as long as we can curve out, we should be fine. So I don't really want a mulligan on the play. I think this is fine. And we can still lead with an Evolving Wilds. And then we have some good blockers coming up. And then even if they trade off, Dollhouse of Horrors can generate value. So this is a fine keep, but it could be wrong if the opponent is hyper aggro. Being on the draw, I might mulligan this. On the play, I think this is serviceable enough. And then do I want double red or double black? Double green. I think I want double green for Averbrook Caretaker. Can't think of any double red spells here. I think double green is worth it for Flourishing Hunter and Averbrook Caretaker if we somehow get them later. But those are like 6 drops, so I should be able to get my double green regardless. So maybe it's fine going double red because we do have we might want a double spell, so let's do this instead. Let's do double red instead, I mean. And we have mostly red cards in our hand. Not sure if this is correct, but... Alright, Paxon Pup. Just no wolves, but... Once we get it going, it's not a joke. Sporeback Wolf, sure. There it is, we need our double green for that. Alright, need to get a 4th land. We are running 17. So, yep, hopefully... I mean, blue-green isn't the most aggressive deck, but he can still have aggressive starts. Alright, and now we can lead with a good 4-drop that can block everything, so this was a nice pickup. And we have double green regardless, so we'll say go. And I do want to keep growing the Paxon Pup, so I don't think I'm going to attack with it and trade for the Spore Crawler. If he attacks with a 3-2, that could be suspicious. I would lose my Werewolf, so maybe I still take 3, and then hopefully I get a land for Falkenrath Celebrants, which can maybe set up a good double block of some sort. So I'm fine taking 3. We'll regain the life from the Paxon Pup if it doesn't die. If it dies. He could be going 3 colors here. Apprentice Sharpshooter, okay, that's fine. So yeah, Paxon Pup is almost a bomb in a red-green deck. Alright, I could just Lacerate Flesh here. Just to get rid of this, but Celebrants isn't bad too. Just keep putting out threats. And then once we cast Arrowbrook Caretaker on curve, we might see an instant concession. Don't want to play into blue open mana because it could represent a counter spell. And then yeah, we'll just stay back. And no attacks. We'll see if he's splashing. Alright, he is, so could be splashing for Sigarda's Imprisonment. Fierce Retribution is also reasonable. So maybe see an Imprisonment on the Paxon Pup. Alright, a Wolf Strike, alright, it's fine. Still get to gain 3 life. And then Arrowbrook Caretaker, it's going to be scary if we can play it. No Caretaker. Could play Dollhouse of Horrors, actually. Could set up something interesting. Could also Lacerate Flesh on the 1-4. I mean, we don't have a ton of flyers, so I don't really care that much. I think we just play Dollhouse and say go. And the funny thing is this can also just bring back Paxon Pup and start growing it next turn. If he attacks, I might double block the Apprentice Sharpshooter. Heron of Hope. Okay, so he's splashing for Heron of Hope. Interesting to note. So Lacerate Flesh isn't bad on the Heron of Hope, but it's not going to do that much damage. So actually, I don't mind just Paxon Pup. Activate the Dollhouse of Horror, get back the Paxon Pup, and then play Runebound Wolf. So yeah, I could also attack, but then he still has some good blocks. So we'll just say go. And then, yeah, he needs multiple answers to these. And the problem with blue-green is that there's not a ton of removal in that archetype. We can save Lacerate Flesh for the Heron. Could see a Crushing Canopy on Dollhouse of Horrors as well. Or another Wolf Strike. And funny enough, if it becomes nighttime, we can just, yeah, win the game. This card is just an absurd card. What does this have to be in the set? So his game plan now might just be to kill me in the air, but if I draw a land, he's just probably going to concede. We'll see. Alright, and I guess we'll just say good game here just to scare the opponent. And I can also just start getting aggressive here. Yeah, could just attack with a 6/6 Celebrants. Or just keep it back, just to hold off the 4/4. I'm just going to say go. All we need to do is deal the flyer and we should be good. And this has hexproof, so you can't interact with it. It's such a dumb card if you think about it. It makes no sense for this to even be in the set. Like, why does this have to, like, have hexproof? Yup. Sure. So I can just kill this and it's just game over. And there it is. Remove it. Yeah, and there's not much you can do after that. We can just keep, once it becomes nighttime, we can just put counters on our team. We have Runebound Wolf that's going to keep activating. The Paxton pups are just going to keep growing. So there you have it. It's not often that I can draft busted decks like these, but yeah, this is a prime example. So not a bad New Year's video for you guys. And I'm cooking some waffles, so I might have to go AFK sometimes to grab these waffles. They're really good. A bit of an interesting keep. I think it's okay since we're on the play, and then since we already have our expensive cards, Reckless Impulse has a higher chance of getting lands and drawing into something we can play. So I think it's fine. Don't know if I want to cast this exactly on turn 2. I might. But it's also reasonable to cast this on turn 3. Although if I cast it on turn 3, I already have the Lamphold Racketeer step, so I think it's fine impulsing now and hope I can get a good cheap creature along with a land. But either way, if I don't, I can still, this still leads me towards a land, so it's fine. Just gonna play land here, play Snarling Wolf, lose out my 5-drop, but it's fine. Again, as long as we have Outerbrook Caretaker and Flourishing Hunter at the top end, we don't need to worry too much about losing out on the 5-drop. Still a very good card. Wedding Announcement, okay, so opponent also has bombs. I can still attack into it and pump, but if I'm pumping, I'm going to lose out on a lot of tempo, so I think I'm fine just playing out the Racketeer and taking it slow. And then we can attack next turn. I might not want to attack, though, because he can just draw a card off of the Wedding Announcement. But maybe I can just attack with a Snarling Wolf instead and punch in for 3. Like, the question is, do I care about him making a 1/1, or do I care about him drawing a card? Maybe I'm more... maybe I just don't care if he makes a 1/1 and draws a card and attacks back. I guess he won't be able to attack back anyways if I play Fearful Villager, so this is fine. And then I'm fine using up my mana. Having him eating a 1/1 is for free is nice, since this will slow down the Wedding Announcement. And then Fearful Villager is a fine follow-up. So Wedding Announcement is a powerful rare, not an unbeatable bomb like Outerbrook Caretaker. I do need to keep in mind I don't want to play around too much blue open mana. Otherwise he could be holding up a counterspell. I might need to bait out with the Flourishing Hunter instead. He could always sub a double block if once this transforms this turn, and that can be a little bit annoying. So I might not attack. Wretched Throng, so he's probably keeping up a counterspell, I have to imagine. So I don't want to play the Outerbrook Caretaker. I could force a counterspell by playing Sure Strike, which isn't a bad idea. Like, sure, I lose out on a creature, but that could be fine. And then between which creatures do I want to send here? Probably fine sending Snarling Wolf and using Sure Strike here. Or maybe it's fine just baiting out with the Flourishing Hunter. Because 3 open mana is very suspicious. I mean, I don't really have any good attacks. I could attack and trade off trade off one of these for a token. Maybe it's fine still sending these 2 and then baiting out with Sure Strike. I don't want to send a Racketeer because, again, he can double block in, kill it, where I'm fine losing these creatures and having Sure Strike get countered. So probably best to Sure Strike on the Fearful Villager. and then force a counter. I guess the counter spell here would have to be Syncopate. I guess he has Adamant Will. Yep, so he had a spell anyways. Okay, I guess we might have, this might be a little bit rough. I'm hoping he can tap out eventually, since if we don't have creatures, it's going to be a little bit awkward. But at least this 2/4 can block still. So probably just need to bait out with the Flourishing Hunter regardless. And I'm hoping he can eventually tap out too, so I can play the Caretaker. At least Adamant Will is gone, so it's almost like eating a counter spell in a sense. Ancestor, please tap out. And if he doesn't tap out, he has the Siphon Essence. Alright, I guess I can just play the Weaver and hope he counters it. Please counter it. No, he doesn't counter it, so... Alright, so he's just being hesitant here. Or he might have to Flash Lobster. Do I double block here? Maybe I just block with the Lambhold Racketeer. Like, we'll win the game with the Averbrook. I don't really need to put any of my creatures at risk. Alright, so maybe we just need to pull the plug here and hope this resolves. I mean, hope he counters this and then hope he taps out and then we can play Averbrook Caretaker. But come on, 3 mana, it's so suspicious. Alright, here it goes. Here goes nothing. Here comes the counter spell. Yep. So it's Syncopates, alright, so he doesn't make a blood at least. How much was that Syncopate for? I guess it was enough to counter it even if I had Weaver since this was an untapped land, so I'm hoping he can tap out now. And I can still block everything here, so I don't mind this turn. Scab, and he can get back Syncopate. Alright, this is rough. I'm hoping he doesn't get back Syncopate and gets back Scattered Thoughts instead. I mean, I can eventually pay for Syncopates if, let's see, if I play Averbrook, I would still have 2 mana open, so if he has Syncopate, I can still pay 2 for it. So I'm hoping he brings back Syncopate. And then I can still pay for it. Okay, it's Scattered Thoughts. So I think I just need to play the Averbrook Caretaker here, as much as I don't want to. There's an off chance if I double block, this might have forced a trick. Alright, he's tapping out, so yeah, I think we can just tap out now and win the game, hopefully. So, yep. Hopefully we can see a quick concession from the opponent, and we'll just play the Averbrook Caretaker when he's tapped out. Pass the turn, pump the Weaver, since it makes a better blocker now. Let's go. So he needs flyers now to kill me. And if it becomes nighttime, that's even harder. Do I start getting aggressive? He does have good double blocks, so probably not. Maybe just keep enhancing my creatures. And hope he doesn't get some flyers going. And he has a Lantern Bearer, so he's going to start flying. So I need like a Wolf Strike or something. Or potential way to crash through, because he's just going to keep attacking for a lot of damage in the air, which I don't want. And he has Giraffe, so that's even worse. So yeah, I need to get aggressive. And Giraffe can also give out zombie flying. So Averbrook Caretaker, powerful bomb, but not quite what I imagined. I think I'm just dead, right? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, I don't have any interaction for Giraffe. He just had 2 good rares that I couldn't compete with. Alright, fair enough. If I'm playing Dollhouse and Averbrook, then they can play Wedding Announcement, Giraffe, and win. I guess that's a way to balance the format. You open up a bomb, well, then your opponents get to open up bombs and play them too. So the biggest weakness of this deck is flyers. So Averbrook Caretaker obviously is very strong, but if you're losing life and the opponent has a bunch of flyers, then in a green deck, then and you're playing green, it's going to be rough to get back from. Like, my only out was to kill Geralf, but then he would still have a Lantern Bearer to attach onto his creatures and fly over to seal the game. So I was in a bad spot regardless. Let's just keep playing. Ooh, Paxon Pup into Paxon Pup. Well, that's almost close to Averbrook Caretaker. Red, black. Yeah, black-green is not a color combination I'm too afraid of. Like, the high toughness thing can be a bit of an issue in the late game, but if he doesn't have many of the payoffs, we can just outscale him. Weaver Blossoms, alright, that's scary. But lucky for us, we have a double Paxon Pup to lead with. And hopefully these can just grow out of hand. So he could play a high toughness payoff here, which could be a problem. But hopefully I can survive long enough to ascend these and take it from there. Interesting attack. I don't think I block into it. Maybe next turn I can. Alright, he had the hero's downfall regardless. But we still have one more remaining and we can still gain life off of this, so not afraid of anything. And I'm fine blocking using the room. I'm still fine using the Runebound Wolf here to block the 1/3, so I think I can safely get him for 3 here. And then again, Dollhouse of Horrors with Paxon Pup is pretty gross. So I'm going to block the 1/3 here if he attacks. Not the 2/3, of course. So by attacking, it means he's not ramping, so that's a good sign. Alright, now I probably want to stay back here and just cast a Dollhouse and take it slow. And now I'm actually fine trading for the Wolfkin Outcast because I can just keep bringing my Paxon Pups back. Okay, a removal spell. I still gain 4, so it's not the worst. And then Caretaker can also enhance my creatures next turn. So this is fine. I still gain back all my life. And then, yeah, we just want to play Caretaker here to potentially trade with the Wolfkin Outcast. So we'll just say go, do this, and then we'll pass a turn. And hope he doesn't have something. I mean, either way, I can just keep enhancing all my wolves. So even if I take 5 from this, I should still be fine. Since I can just bring everything back and put counters onto them, so yeah, we'll just trade. I'm fine bringing back Paxon Pup and then enhancing my Hungry Ridgewolf since the pup will gain counters anyways. Bloody Betrayal's kind of cute too. Let's just bring back our Paxon Pup. Play out the Hungry Ridgewolf. Move the combat. enhance our Hungry Ridge Wolf and offer to trade for the 4/4. And we'll just say go again. And just keep trading off until he's out of stuff. And yeah, I can just keep bringing everything back again. So I think it's just game over unless he can just kill me out of nowhere. And then if it becomes nighttime, this just puts counters everywhere. Man, this deck is pretty stupid. All right, I'll block it here. All right, even a Gift of Fang, sure. I'll just keep gaining life and play a second pup. All right, Lambhole Racketeers. Let's just bring another pup back. I think the opponent just wants to see how much he can do this for. Yeah, and then you just can't stop this. It's just it's just a stupid infinite engine. So dumb, absolutely dumb. Sorry, opponent, but I got my ass kicked by bombs, and it's time for me to repay the game back for what it has done to me in the past. So. But the Gift of Fangs enchanting the Paxson Pup and killing it, not giving me life, is probably a bug. Because it would count as dying, and when the Paxson Pup dies, you gain life. So, yeah, maybe the game developers need to fix that bug. Let's keep playing. Well, we keep having her in our opening hand. I think this game is bugged. I don't know. Not sure. It's a little bit awkward, though, but I still think I keep. Obviously, the dream start would be to draw in the Paxson Pup on turn 2. I'm just going to go AFK because I'm eating waffles right now, so bear with me. That Fell Stinger was literally a 3-for-1. He drew 2 cards off of that and also killed my creature. But I think I'm fine getting rid of it, since it's going to be a problem in the long run being able to block all my large creatures. So I'm surprised he actually attacked there. I would have maybe kept it back. And I'm also very surprised he sacrificed his own Stitch Assistant here. Not sure if that even is what you want to do. Especially if you're behind on board, you might want a blocker. Wow, even just concedes. Okay. Didn't even have to cast Averbrook Caretaker, but maybe he was desperate for lands and he couldn't get any. And knew he was just going to get beaten down by large creatures all day. So, yeah. Happens. Alright, I think this game is rigged. It's bugged. There's no way you can have this like 4 games in a row in your opening hand. Regardless, we're keeping the Reckless Impulse since we have most of our expensive cards, but come on, the game needs to fix this. I should not be having this in my opening hand every single time. And I'm fine just casting this on turn 2, since I have most of my expensive cards already. Pax on Pup is a problem, jeez. Okay, we could just lose here. I'm fine losing, I can't win them all. Sporecast Spire was a pretty decent pickup. Although it won't be attacking passive Pax on Pup anytime soon. I probably need to still not trade this off because I need to maybe keep up a good double block against the Pax on Pup. Otherwise, I'm never gonna stonewall this thing, and that's gonna be quite awful. So maybe we just need to get to the point where again we can double block this. Never mind, we get Flame Blessable. So we're probably gonna lose this Pax on Pup. You can see how powerful this card can be if you play it exactly on turn 2. I mean, obviously we have 2 copies of it, but yeah, now you guys can see the power of this ridiculous card. Yeah, we'll play Child, maybe take 5, block the 1/1. Could also just pass a turn and just make 2/2s all day. I mean, that's also not a bad idea too. That's a strange attack. Could be a sure strike. I mean, yeah, I guess I'm blocking this. If he has a pump trick, he hits a pump trick, I lose. But maybe, I don't know. If this is a misplay, we can quite possibly get back because he wouldn't have a wolf to keep growing this. So I'm not sure that was the right thing to do from the opponent. So Last Ray Flesh doesn't accomplish much. I think I'm down to just play Pax on Pup, maybe set up a double block if he decides to attack. Could see in the Braid here too. I still gain 2 life, so it's not the worst. So I'm hoping I don't have to chump. Please no Werewolf. I mean, he plays a 4th lane, he has to have a Werewolf here. Yeah, that's a Werewolf. Good games. Yeah, I can't block this. I mean, the chopping here is just so bad. Yeah, and then if I play out Averbrook or Flourishing Hunter, it's game over. So, yeah, you can see how this is a Mythic common in red-green. I don't know if I would still first pick it. Like, it's definitely a first pick contention. Like, it's only really good if you can have lots of werewolves with it. But definitely a great uncommon. And now we lose the game because of it. So, not much you can do if the opponent turn 2. Is it just like you've done against other opponents? Two drop, 3 drop, maybe ramp into Flourishing Hunter. I like this better in the late game since, again, I don't want to exile anything too expensive. Do I trade Runebound Wolf for the 2/2? There's an argument for just trading this off as well. But in a red-black deck, it's highly unlikely he has another Werewolf to pair along with it. Now he does. So I think I'm going to trade here if he attacks. Otherwise, I'll be taking too much damage, and at least we can at least make this into a 2/2, which can attack into the Weaver profitably. And next turn we can double spell 2-drop into 3-drop into maybe Flourishing Hunter. So if he attacks, I'm not blocking because that's a little bit too suspicious. I mean, mean, he could attack just to transform this into a 4-3, which I don't mind because we have Spore Crawler, and we'll take Visionary to deal with it, so I actually don't mind trading here. Averbrook Caretaker is cute too, but we're just gonna lead with Visionary into Spore Crawler. Maybe most likely put the Spore Crawler in front of the 4-3. And then if he doesn't have anything else, pretty interesting, Graph Reaver. Alright, I think this game is ours. If you're playing a card as bad as Graph Reaver, then good luck. Might sound a little bit cocky, but, you know, it's not a card I would definitely expect people to play. And since he's tapped out, I think it's fine to just drop the Averbrook here, and then we should be able to win the game. Especially stuck on 3 lands, so we'll probably see an instant concession here. And probably enhance the Spore Crawler, since the Visionary can't block and probably needs to tap itself down for a turn to draw cards. So I think I'm liking the Spore Crawler here, and no attacks. If he attacks with a 4-3, I don't mind putting the 3-2 in front of it. Like at this point I should be able to win, I don't really care about the card advantage. So I can enhance this next turn attack. He might be forced to double block. Okay, I think I put the Visionary in front. I mean, he could also have a Sweeper here, so I might have to be careful. The Sweeper is Path to the Peril at 6 mana, which is a lot of mana. I could also just Lacerate Flesh here and then attack. Maybe that's just better. And this is a pretty good target for Lacerate Flesh. So now I can hold on to my Flourishing Hunter, and yeah, he's just dead. Again, there was a chance he was splashing Path to the Peril with the dual land, so I might want to hold on to the Flourishing Hunter in case of a sweeper. But, you know, so. And Lacerate Flesh there made it was a pretty good turn to use, so he couldn't set up a double block on the Sporecast Spider or the Weaver Blossoms we were playing to pump and attack with. Yep, so yeah, Averbrook Caretaker, Insane Bomb. Definitely shouldn't have printed it. At least they didn't have to make it hexproof, to be honest. And the transformability in the nighttime was just absurd. So even without hexproof, it would have been a 4/4 was still difficult to deal with in this format, and the ability to transform and put counters everywhere was also pretty dumb. So don't know why the hell they printed this card, especially in the set where the commons really can't compete with the rares in the set, and the only way to deal with them are a couple of removal spells, and then this also had to have hexproof. Yeah, it's funny. Maybe they just knew green was maybe the worst color in this format, so they decided to do so. But even then, green isn't like so bad that you don't play any of their commons. Like green still has very good commons, like Hookhand Mariner, Wolf Strike, and Weaver Blossoms and Flourishing Hunter, plus Spore Crawler as well. So interesting decision there by the designers. And I think this set is most people do not like this limited set because of cards like this. So let's just keep playing. I think they should consider at least reducing the power level of most of the rares, or at least include more commons that could combat them. But in this set, it isn't the case. So yeah, a lot of this set's definitely very controversial. It's almost just like Ikoria. Ikoria like basically had the cycling problem, and then in this set, it's just full of rares that just outclass everything. All right, this is still a curve. Does Averbrook Caretaker win this one? Who knows? Hopefully, no Paxson Pup on turn 2, like the rest of our other opponents. The last one of the opponents we lost to. So, Flame Breather, so maybe a blue-red deck, or it could just be a random blocker. But we can lead Hungry Ridgewolf. Maybe the Hungry Ridgewolf to be less mana efficient, just attacking for 3. But probably just leave a Spore Crawler next turn. Or actually Fearful Villager is probably just better. He could have an Abrade here to interrupt my 3-2, but either way, if he blocks it, it's still not going to die, so I think I'm fine doing this. Yep, there it is. Okay, so he was saving that all along, that's okay. Or at least Spore Crawler didn't get abraded. Ballista Watcher, that's a problem. Do I still attack here? I think I do, and I can still double spell if I attack. I don't mind sure striking the Ballista Watcher, it is a scary card. Opponent just takes it, so now I can maybe play Child of the Pact, and I don't think I blocked the 4-3. Otherwise, he can just finish it off with a removal, and that could be a problem. Need to set up a turn where I can play Spore Crawler and maybe keep up Sure Strike. I could also just pass a turn, do nothing, and activate the Child of the Pack. If he has a bounce spell, this could be a problem, since that would be a ton of damage. Mirror Hall Mimic, okay. Oh, my Child, that's rude. I think he's going to copy the Child, if that makes sense. Yeah, this is rough. And if Mirror Hall Mimic dies, the problem is that he can just keep making copies of whatever dies. So I probably am forced to stay back for the time being and do nothing. Could also just keep making werewolves and say go. I mean, that isn't the worst. Could just make a werewolf and transform this, and we can still maybe set up some sort of double block. He can also activate the Ballista Watchers twice. I mean, if I pass the turn, this is going to become a 5-5, so that's a problem. So maybe we just need to play out maybe Spore Crawler. I could also attack here, and then if he double blocks with one of these Watchers, I just kill the one that's unenchanted. I guess if he double blocks here, he's just gonna... That's not great, so let's just play Spore Crawler here and take it easy. And I'm probably just gonna hold off this Mirror Entity by blocking it. Hopefully eventually get Avabrook Caretaker to do something, but yeah, this is a problem. I guess I can't block into this, because if he does, he can just tap his second Ballista Watcher. Yeah, maybe I just need to take 4. Not where I want to be, but maybe that's just a necessary evil. Maybe need to find a removal spell before I can block this. But he can free roll me the 4-3 all day, and that's a problem. Maybe I guess he just wants to transform. So he could just activate this twice to kill my Spore Crawler. I guess this can't transform. I think I can just attack with a Fearsome Werewolf then. If he double blocks here, that's a problem. So maybe I just double spell, let the Spore Crawler die, and take it from there. So let's just say this enchants one of my creatures. Yeah, that's a problem. I don't think I can attack into this. Just gonna let the Spore Crawler die, and it's fine. Change it daytime again. And then I guess I can keep bringing back the Spore Crawler at least, so we'll just say go. And then maybe use the Pack Song Pup as a... Okay, I guess he wants to kill this so I don't draw a card. Fine enough for me. I mean, by then he might have a way to protect his Ballista Watcher. But yeah, if the opponent doesn't realize it, he could just attack this, enchant, and copy my Child of the Packs and make a million of them. So I'm actually happy that he's not attacking, and he's actually sacrificing the Flame Breather. But opponent might also be afraid that I might have removal here, so that could be a reason why he's also not attacking. And then now maybe we can Dollhouse and take it from there. I can also activate and make a 2-2, but I don't really want him transforming it either. Let's just play Dollhouse and just set this up at least. Could see hopefully no syncopates. So this is a rough final boss. I guess he can just ping my stupid construct, so maybe that wasn't worth it. Yeah, that was bad. I shouldn't have done that. Maybe I should have just kept this in the graveyard and just tapped out for the dollhouse. But by doing this, I guess we can save a point of damage, which probably doesn't amount to much. Maybe I just need to send the Spore Crawler in trade at this point. Entomber. So he doesn't get to use this card here. I think I just attack with a Spore Crawler here. I mean, I hate him having to enchant my child, so maybe I just activate Child and Sigo. And he just pings my face. Yeah, these Ballista Watchers are a problem. The Mirror Hall entity, I think, is the biggest problem, and there's no way to exile in red or green. So I think that's that's of course the biggest issue in this game. So now he can ping me for one, and then deal with my board eventually. And I might need to just keep drawing cards off a Spore Crawler, eventually find maybe Averbrook Caretaker to win the game. Luckily this doesn't transform. But we can still stay back and hopefully just do nothing. As we draw nothing but a land. Alright, I guess we just say go. But yeah, this is a really powerful rare. Okay, I guess he can use it 3 times now. Yeah, I forgot I didn't count his mana, so this is a problem. So probably need to start getting aggressive now, or at least hope I draw Averbrook Caretaker fast enough. Because now he can just keep pinging all my stuff, and that's a problem. Eventually he can activate 4 times, so this Ballista Watcher definitely needs to go, I think. Another freaking land, are you serious? Okay, I guess I can just try to bring back the Fearful Villager for the hell of it. I think I'll just do it for the hell of it. Doesn't accomplish much, but that's okay. I do have some good cards in this deck, just need to draw into them. And I don't think I'm attacking, he's probably going to shoot down my other Fearful Villager, or maybe kill both of these instead. Yeah, this is rough. I'm happy to trade Savage Packmate for his other Ballista Watcher. And then he can also start attacking with the 3/2s and then finishing off my Packmates. So either way, I'm in pretty bad shape. Celebrants isn't the worst. Okay, so maybe this could be my way to find my bomb. And then, yeah, I think it's fine discarding a land here. So we can dig towards Caretaker, which is going to be our win con. Bloody Betrayal. Unfortunately, I can't sack it. Could try something cute, maybe Bloody Betrayal kill the Ballista Watcher with his own. Not sure if that works. I mean, he still makes a blood token, so I could still kill and get him for 5 maybe. So I might just want to use this just to generate a blood token and maybe force an attack from the opponent. Chill, sure. So he's going to start pinging face. Okay, never mind. He's just going to do it now. Surprise again, he hasn't been attacking the Ballista Watcher. So maybe that'll give me enough time to find a Wolf Strike to answer any potential creatures he enchants. I might need to Wolf Strike my own creature too. If I Blight Betrayal this, the problem is that it's just going to end up in his graveyard. Okay, Impulse. Hopefully I can get Caretaker and not get my stuff countered. I'm hoping he just taps out now. A Braid, Rip. Can I have myself a Averbrook Caretaker, please? I mean, I can always just bring this back with Dollhouse. And then maybe make a 2-2 with it. It isn't great. I guess he has one more activation left. Ooh, Paxson Pup. Yeah, that might not do it here. So Paxson Pup is probably just going to get owned. It's not great. Don't have any sacrifice effects. Maybe I do just need to throw this out for no reason. And at least make a 2-2 with this child. It isn't great, but again, I need to do something. He's just going to ping all my stuff. And I'm going to have a hard time winning. Unless I get the Caretaker, of course. Which I'm hoping I can. It isn't in the bottom of my library. We can just keep bringing it back as well. Do I attack for 4 here? No, it doesn't accomplish anything, just say go. Okay, now he can only ping me twice per turn. But I guess he can turn nighttime and just keep using these. I can always maybe try to steal this turn nighttime and kill itself. But again, that doesn't accomplish much. And I guess now we can just start making 2-2s to buy more time. Another land, so now I need to discard a land. And where's my Caretaker, please? Caretaker, where are you? Runebound Wolf, okay, still a little bit, still not it. So this is definitely a rough puzzle to solve. Mirror Hall Entity, Ballista Wielder. So I might be forced to use Bloody Betrayal on this. And then he probably won't block, because if he does block, I guess he can bring back his creature, but then I can finish itself off. What is this? Alright, I guess now it's time for maybe Betrayal, or maybe not, just keep playing out stuff. And we'll start wasting his time. So Lambhole Racketeer can be a possible win condition if I burn him quickly enough. And then, might as well just use the Dollhouse for the hell of it. Bring out a Villager for no reason. So you might want to kill my Runebound Wolf. Okay, that's fine. I mean, I guess that counters triggered abilities. Okay. Alright, so he's going to keep swinging for 3 in the air. And we'll just pass a turn, and he can ping my face, I guess. So, yeah. We need a way to also deal with the flyer. So, where's my Caretaker? Where are you? I do need to eventually just find her, turn it nighttime, and then just put counters everywhere. I think that's how we win the game. Opponent's going to try to take out the Runebound Wolf. So I can possibly steal the 3/3 and attack with it and smash him for 3. Make a blood token, Stensia Uprising. Okay, that's also scary, but he has 16 permanents. So I guess he can just make chump blockers all day. I need a way to gain give my creatures trample. Lacerate Flesh isn't bad on the flower, or his Ballista Watcher. I guess his Ballista Watcher is probably the biggest issue. So yeah, we'll just kill this. And that will slow him down since he won't be able to ping a million of my 2/2s. I'm actually hoping he uses both right now, so then I can play Packsong Pup. I can also just burn him for a lot of damage here by activating the Runebound Wolf instead of bringing back Packsong Pup. Which might be a better decision, to be honest. Yeah, maybe I just do that. So yeah, I can burn him for 5, and then maybe I can kill him with the Bloody Betrayal in one of the turns. I guess he's just keeping up his mana here, just in case. I'm gonna just activate the Runebound Wolf, I think. And again, I can bring it back with Dollhouse eventually, too. And then maybe we can even eventually burn him with the Bloody Betrayal and Sure Strike with Landhope Racketeer, so that's fine. Opponent can't sacrifice Stensia, so I think I should be able to stabilize after taking out this Ballista Watcher. And this can't transform, so that's fine. I'm surprised he hasn't attacked with this so far. I don't care about the Spectral Binding, that's okay. And the Stitch Assistant probably sacrificing the token. I'm hoping he doesn't draw into a counterspell, but his deck could possibly use a counterspell because he has an Overcharge Amalgam at instant speed. So the more instant speed stuff, the more his deck is better. So I could also wait nighttime to do more damage with this. Okay, so yeah, I just need to maybe find my stupid Averbrook Caretaker, but now he has 2 flyers I need to contend with. Visionary, come on. Can I have it now, please? So now what? Maybe Runebound Wolf burning him out is the play. Yeah, I guess that's not a bad idea. Yeah, let's just bring out the Runebound Wolf. I guess there's also an argument for stealing the Watcher and then activating the Runebound Wolf to win the game as well. And then if he tries to attack with flyers, we can cheese him out. Yeah, let's just do this. And I'm fine activating this. And then we might be able to steal his flyer to kill him. Don't know what this 2-mana trick is. I guess he could have like a Chill of the Grave here. So opponent accidentally didn't keep up 3 mana, and I should be fine still. This is still like a 3-turn clock. Right, and if he isn't careful, I can eventually just burn him with Lambhold Racketeer and the Bloody Betrayal, so I'm actually hoping he attacks with his flyers. And he needs to spend 3 mana to take out this Runebound Wolf. So opponent needs to be pretty careful here. So yeah, nice dealing with the Ballista Watcher. Almost I was about to lose this. And I feel like maybe Averbrook Caretaker is like bottom 5 of my library. Okay, that's okay. Please attack me with the flyers. I should be able to win if I attack him with the flyers. Okay. So if I steal this, that's 4 damage plus the Bloody Betrayal plus 7 due to the Sure Strike. Keeping the Skyward Scott back is interesting. So let's think here. I can lead with sacrificing the mountain or discarding it. Evolving Wild is not what I want. So if I steal this, that's 6. And then I Sure Strike, that's 5. I guess he's dead. So I guess we go for it here. And hopefully he doesn't have anything that interferes with this play. He might have an interaction spell, Alchemist Retrieval to counter it. Okay, makes sense, sure. That sucks. So now he can flash this in to counter the steal effect. So I do need to draw something good. That was close. All right. So now what? If I ping myself, I'm still not dead. So maybe it's fine. Although, if I have Everbrook Caretaker, that's a problem because I won't be able to cast it. So maybe we're better off just end of turn, just activate this for now, and then hope we... And then I guess we can make a 2/2 Wolf pre-combat. And then I could just attack here. And maybe Sure Strike if he blocks with a 2/5, or trade this off. I'm fine trading this off. It's still a card. He could just block with a 1/1. Actually, don't mind this, because by doing this, I can take out the extra flyer, so this will slow down his game plan. So he'll still only be attacking me for 3 in the air. I can still chump the 4/3 if he tries to transform it. So that was a close game. I mean, the opponent didn't have, without that Alchemist Retrieval, would have definitely lost. Not sure if I have any more non-creature spells. Okay, Cruel Witness is a problem. So how do I win this now? I don't need a Snarling Wolf. I think I need to find Caretaker or something here. I guess we're just dead if he attacks us next turn. Okay, Wolf Strike isn't bad. Yeah, Wolf Strike isn't bad. Let's just use this to kill the Cruel Witness now, so we can buy ourselves an extra turn. And then we can also transform the Visionary, ping him. And then I'm also just fine sending in Spore Crawler, perhaps. Can even send in the Paxson Pup to gain 3 life, which isn't bad, so that also puts me onto a 2-turn clock. If I'm not careful, the opponent might have an... I guess the opponent has enough permanents, I don't mind just attacking here. He could also trade for the Ballista Watcher as well. What's the opponent thinking about? I guess thinking about pinging the Visionary, but then he loses the blocker. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 creatures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I can only one of them can get through if he decides to block everything. I can always just bring back the Visionary for the hell of it, which I will, just to enhance my Paxson Pup, I guess. And then let's think here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I guess that's 4 damage, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 2 goes unblocked. All of our creatures are at 2 power. I think it's just good games. Yep. Very close. Opponent shouldn't have tapped the Ballista Watcher, otherwise he wouldn't have been down a blocker. And then the opponent's basically, if the opponent puts all of his creatures in front of the highest power creatures, that's still 4 damage getting through. So yeah, we cheesed them out without Everbrook Caretaker, so yep. That was a close one. Opponent had an unstoppable engine, but luckily we were able to deal with his first Ballista Watcher. And yeah, I think he should have started attacking the Ballista Watcher and then trading this off, so then he can copy my Paxson Pup. But yeah, we managed to get there. That was a really interesting game. Almost thought we were going to lose that one, but hey, that's why you never give up. I was about to give up, though. So, what am I talking about? That was awesome. So I'm going to take a little minor break here, and then we are going to do the next draft. And in that last game, we didn't even need Avabrook Caretaker. All right, yeah, sweet, nice 7-2. We lost our first opponent. The opponent that we lost to was one opponent that we lost to was a turn 2 Paxton Pup. Forgot about the first one we lost to. I think it's one where I just kept a greedy hand as well, and the opponent just curved out and killed me. Not sure which one was that, but I knew for sure it was one of those games. So yeah, make sure you have 2 drops in your opening hand, and overall, pretty solid deck. Again, the only problem was the removal department. But other than that, we have some really solid creatures. Double Paxton Pup, Child of the Pack, Weaver, Mariner, Dollhouse was powerful. Same with obviously Avabrook Caretaker. Ended like 5 games for us. So that was really sweet. I think I'm just gonna take a quick break here. I'll be back in like maybe 2 to 3 minutes. So let's claim our prize. And surprisingly enough, the games went pretty quick. I'll be back. All right, let's do this. One moment. All right, chewing on my waffles. All right, the rare isn't that exciting. There's enough card draw. In blue, at common and uncommon, you don't care about inspired idea. Also, not great unless you can cleave this because you can only hold on to 4 cards in your hand, which is still fine. But overall, I'm not really excited about this. I'll still play it if it's kind of like the last cards around the draft table and I'm in blue. Purifier is quite good, but Black White I don't think is a tier 1. I mean, it's close to bottom of tier 1, but you really need to get a lot of life linkers going, and traveling ministers can definitely be very powerful, but you do need to keep up 2 generic end of turn to keep drawing cards with it. Great card, but the card I'm looking at is probably just Falcon Wrath Celebrants. Again, I think red's the best color in this format, and then this is almost like 5 mana draw 2. So it's kind of like the Organ Hoarder in this set in a sense, although you still take a Braden and Flame Blessed Bolt over it, pack 1, pick 1, or even Bleed Dry. Just take a Celebrant, stay open, and hopefully we can draft a nice, fun red deck. Alright, the Dominating Vampire isn't amazing. It's only until end of turn, so not sure if I want to take this. Ooh, we could try to maybe go into red-green again with Paxson Pup, and we saw how crazy this card is. There's also Imprisonment, but not a big fan of red-whites. Could also just take another Falcon Wrath Celebrants and just solidify ourselves there. The card with the highest upside is Paxson Pup, however. So we could just take this. Like, we saw how in the first draft, this card just instantly almost just won the game right on the spot if it goes unanswered for like 2 turns. And yeah, you do want to pair red with green werewolves if you can. So I could just consider this just as a high-risk, high-reward pick. Whereas, you know, Falcon Wrath Celebrants is a common, so if red's open, we can always find one later. So I'm kind of down to just try to pack some up here, and I think this is probably the best card in the pack. There's also Diagraph Scavenger. No pun intended with the pack word, whatever. Just take the packs on pup. Ooh, okay. I mean, if it's pick 3, I guess we're committed. Alternatively, there is Brambleworm if we want to stay open. But, I mean, Child of the Pack is also quite excellent. Yeah, I mean, Brambleworm isn't great unless you can ramp into it with Weaver Blossoms, which are also important commons to pick up. But I'm kind of just down to just take the Child of the Pack. We saw how powerful it was last game, and then by taking it now, we can take this as a sign that red-green is very open. Like, we were past Paxson Pup into Child of the Pack, so it has to be open in the 3rd pack, even if we don't get a good 2nd pack. So we'll take Child of the Pack as our pun, and then Flame Blessed Bolt was perfect, pick 4. Otherwise, we'd be looking at Hungry Ridgewolf. Cigar's Imprisonment is a good common, but I'm afraid that it's also isn't that great in this format. Just to talk about this, it's not great against blue-black exploits. It takes a lot of mana to enchant and exile something. It's bad against cards with good abilities like Child of the Pact. So that can be a problem. But it's still removal if you need one. We're still going to take Flame Blessed Bolt, one of the top 3 commons in this set. And it seems like red-green is really open for my right-hand side, so we're just going to do it again. Draft another red-green deck and maybe get past Ava Brook Caretaker for some apparent reason. Alright, Ballista Watcher is perfect. Also another werewolf, pick 5. So yeah, this is probably one of the easiest drafts I've ever had in this format, and usually in this format I do end up abandoning like my first 2, 3, or even 4 picks. Other good cards include Infantry, Gluttonous Guest, but yeah, Watcher's perfect. Not a big fan of Retribution, but yeah, hey, Wolf Strike. The removal spell in green if you need one, especially in red-green. Seems like the pick here, but some other good commons, Scavenger, Imprisonment, Retribution if we have a ton of vampires, or if you're in black-red vampires, obviously. But Wolf Strike was perfect. Over Evolving Wilds, but hopefully we can pick up one later if we want to go 3 colors. But man, this archetype is just so open for my right-hand side. It's almost like the game wants us to play it again and give us Averbrook Caretakers in our opening hand. So is MTG Arena rigged? Maybe. Gonna take the Flourishing Hunter now. Best card in this pack is probably Lantern Bearer, but at this point I think we know what colors we're in. And still pack 1 is a good sign. Okay, Hookhand Mariner over Diagraph Scavenger, so it's really open, like pick 8. No one wants to draft red-green. which I think it might be a mistake since red-green is probably the best green deck in the format, and is also just really good. So, we'll see. Hopefully we can pick up a second pack Sun Pup later. Mulch, yeah, maybe Mulch. I don't like this card outside of blue-green, but we can just cut off green by taking it. Other than that, there was nothing else good in that pack. Maybe, like, if I was in a real-life pod, I'd maybe hate draft a Nurturing Presence, so the blue-white drafter doesn't get to have a copy. But everything else in that pack was kind of filler. Alright, second Celebrants is great. I'll play this in any red deck, even outside of Werewolves. And then maybe take a Ceremonial Knife if we need access to blood, but I highly doubt it since we have double Celebrants already. And yeah, we'll take a Fearful Villager, nice 3-drop for the Werewolf deck. And there's a Nurturing Presence that I'm going to hate draft. Alright, Belligerent Guest can even make a filler cut. So we already know our archetype in the first pack, so that's a good sign and we're all set. Just going to take a Braid here. Between a Braid and Bleed Dry as the best common, there's a huge debate about this. Like, pack 1, pick 1, we definitely take Tilda here because she's just a bomb and best in the blue-white deck, but just great in any white deck, to be honest. And then I think I take Bleed Dry over Parasitic Grasp because the exile effect is relevant and it can handle larger creatures. Between a Braid and Parasitic Grasp, and it is interesting, like, I guess they're both similar, but maybe the life gain has more upside with Grass, although it's triple black, double black might not be the easiest to cast. I don't know, I still think Parasitic Grass is better than Braid, but between the best commons, some people argue Braid is better than Bleed Dry since red is the better color, and black is always contested, but Bleed Dry is just more powerful in terms of raw power level, so I guess it's all context dependent. I'd still think Bleed Dry I would take over Braid since it can answer bombs that you can't and has a more unique effect. Take a Wolf Strike here. We're not going to splash for Gronock. Spore Crawler might even wheel. Restless Bloodseeker great in black-white, but we'll take a Wolf Strike here. Okay, just keep taking the Braid. So unlike the last draft that we did, this time we have a little bit more interaction, which is a good sign. Ooh, Infestation Expert is also great, but I don't think I can pass it up for a second of Braid. And we do have 2 5-drops already. But yeah, hopefully this can wheel, and it would be a great addition. Card is also just very excellent. Alright, I'll just keep taking a million of Braids, and then maybe if we have enough removal, next pack we can focus more on creatures. But for now, a Braid is the best common. We'll take it here. The best commons are definitely a Braid and like Bleed Dry as either number 1 or number 2. Number 3 is like Flame Blessed Bolts. Number 4 probably Traveling Minister, and then number 5 it's probably maybe Fierce Retribution, Lantern Bearer, or I hate to say it, Sigarda's Imprisonment. Alright, Quartermaster is excellent, but we're just going to take a Sporeback Wolves just to improve our 2-drop departments, and it's a Wolf for the deck. But yeah, that's a late Angelic Quartermaster, great uncommon. Probably the best white uncommon. And definitely one of the top uncommons in the set. Like, we all know the training creatures are just really bad. Do I take Brambleworm here or the Hungry Ridgewolf? I think there's enough good 2-drops in red and green. I don't need to prioritize a Ridgewolf. Like, sure, you might even end up playing a Dawnhard Disciple, but Brambleworm has a much more unique effect. And is a nice curve topper if we pick up more Weavers. Might not play it, but I'll take it here. I mean, it's pretty late and is a good card. There's a Reckless Impulse, but probably just looking at this Spore Crawler as a 3-drop we can trade off later. I already have 2 good 5-drops, don't need Lacerate Flesh. This is also a card draw effect, but again, if we're playing more expensive stuff, it gets worse. I like this mostly in blue-red, but yeah, I'll take a Spore Crawler. Definitely better than Dawnhard Disciple, which is again the 2-drop I said could be filler. Now for Boding Statue, can make it more reasonable to play Brambleworm, maybe Splash as well. And that was a nice pickup. Outside of green, I don't really like ramping in this format. Maybe blue-black could use ramp with Foreboding Statue since a lot of their spells are pretty expensive. But we'll see. But we definitely need some good early game to not get run over. Funny enough, the best card in this pack is Chill of the Grave, which I'm going to take. Yeah, we'll just take it here. Highly doubt we're playing the Hearst. Maybe play this if we need another random 3-drop and also can block a flyer, so Never wrong having one copy of Apprentice Sharpshooter. And then don't care about the rest of these. Maybe Sure Strike. Yeah, Sure Strike saved our butts last draft. I mean, we have enough interaction. I think in a real life scenario, maybe I take a Crushing Campy for the sideboard. Since there's really like Sure Strike can function as removal if your curve is aggressive enough. But again, triple Abrade, double Wolf Strike, Flame Blessed Bolt, that's enough interaction already. So next pack, I think we can focus more on creatures. Wow, is this a gift? Third Falkenrath Celebrants, that's nuts. So Weaver Blossoms would be a nice addition. More 2-drops would be great too. But wow, that was crazy seeing this late. I think Falkenrath Celebrants could be one of the top 5 commons in this format too. So I know for sure Traveling Minister, Abrade, Bleed Dry, and Blessed Bolt are top 4, but number 5 could be arguable. Like Celebrants is great, Fierce Retribution, Lantern Bearer. Maybe it is Falkenrath Celebrants. I would take Falkenrath Celebrants over the white removals, believe it or not. Okay, Dormant Grove is a nice gift. Better if we can curve out for the most part. But it's a nice card that we can use to enhance our creatures over time. Seems like the right choice. Pack 1, pick 1. Yeah, don't mind taking Dormant Grove over Valor Stance. These are the only 2 good cards. Not a big fan of Magma Pummeler. Pretty expensive, and even then it's not that impactful. Take a Dormant Grove. And then, yeah, I guess we keep taking Braids over Dawnheart Disciple. We do need some 2s, but man, it feels wrong not taking a Braid here. So I'll just take it. Maybe we can, maybe we just need Dawnheart Disciple, actually. It's not wrong, actually, taking Dawnheart here. We do need some 2s, and we have triple Braid already. Like, our interaction is set for this draft, and triple Braid is awkward. Let's just take the Dawnheart Disciple. That's crazy. Like, there's so many good cards in this pack, but it's a weird pick, but I think we need it. The same reason I'm going to take a Hungry Ridgewolf here over Flourishing Hunter, which I think is a better common, and over Villager. Just need to get more 2s. And I can even see myself cutting 1 Celebrants to lower the curve a bit. Ooh, Runebound Wolf was a nice pickup. Alright, seems better now. Now maybe we can ditch this Dawnheart Disciple. And yeah, another Flame Blessed Bolt, sure. Do I just ditch 1 Celebrants? I guess 1 Celebrants can maybe go. Maybe I can just ditch the Apprentice Sharpshooter. Like, with all this removal, we can deal with flyers. Most flyers are low toughness. If it's a high toughness flyer, we still have Wolf Strike to take it out, so maybe Sharpshooter can go. And then the next card I'm maybe looking to cut is maybe just 1 Celebrants, since we might need to just lower the curve. Or maybe cut a Wolf Strike, believe it or not. Actually, I don't think that's wrong either. Or maybe just cut Brambleworm, like, maybe we just don't have enough ramps, so I'll just put in a sideboard for now in case we find another good playable for this type of deck. Alright, so maybe we're running dry here. The only card I can even consider is maybe Laid to Rest, since werewolves can sometimes count as humans. Never mind, maybe Wedding Invitation with the vampires. Not sure if I'll play it though. We'll see. It's quite good. It's definitely excellent in the Mardu colors, but outside of Mardu colors, it's whatever. Take this for the sideboard. So the thing about Blood is that it's going to be a little bit awkward if we have too many expensive cards. The best card in this pack is Socialite, by the way. Since, you know, it's going to take a while before we start discarding lands, and it can be awkward if we need to get to 7 mana. So there could be an argument for not playing the Brambleworm, because again, we don't have a ton of ramp to go in this deck. We have 14 creatures, which should be fine already, so there's an argument for actually just throwing in the Wedding Invitation. And I think this is a pretty good common and definitely very underrated. Like, Brambleworm is great and all, don't get me wrong, but if we don't get there, it's just whatever. With triple Celebrants, we don't have an issue closing out the game, I don't think. Like, we should have enough power on turn 5, and turn 4 we should be okay without the card like Brambleworm. That can be kind of clunky later on. Flame Breather, that's kind of cute. It might actually be okay in this type of deck with 9 non-creature spells. Okay, so we got enough playables. The only argument I can see is, do we play Wedding Invitation or do we play Bramble Worm? That's basically it. The Dormant Grove can also count as a creature. We get enough toughness going on. It's definitely 17 lands. I can't imagine it not being 17. If we had more ramp, maybe another Weaver, I might consider this Bramble Worm, so we might have missed out on, I guess, a Hungry Ridgewolf on turn 2, but that's fine. We should have enough 2s here. The Wedding Invitation is pretty good with the Celebrants. It can help us sneak in an attack with a creature later on, which isn't bad. So I'm kind of down to just not play the Bramble Worm, to be honest. Like, again, it's better if I'm like in a blue-green deck or a black-green deck, or if I had another ramp mana dork. This would be awesome, but I'm not liking it, especially with triple Celebrants that's looking to discard lands in the late game. It can be, again, kind of awkward where you play Celebrants on turn 5, but you have a turn 7 Bramble Worm, and it's just sitting there in your hand. Like, you could discard a Bramble Worm and use it later, but you most likely just want to cast it as a creature and exile this later for life gain. I guess that's an argument too. We could just play Bramble Worm, and then if we feel that's clunky, we can discard it with the Celebrants. Meh, I don't know. Maybe this is just fine. So nothing else too exciting in this sideboard. Maybe we need a way to deal flyers with Apprentice Sharpshooter and Crushing Canopy. But we should have enough interaction. We should be okay. And then I don't need another 2-drop. That's not a Werewolf or a Wolf. This is a bad 4-drop Werewolf. Don't play it. And then, yeah, the only consideration is Bramble Worm versus Wedding. Yeah, I'll try the Wedding Invitation. Again, it's just a cheap cantrip. I don't want my hand to get awkward, and then 9/8 seems fine, since we're favoring red, most likely. Alright, let's give this a shot again. No Caretaker this time, but we still have a really solid deck. That was definitely a weird pick, picking Dawnhard Disciple over the Abrade, but believe it or not, I needed the 2-drops, and with triple Abrade we should be set. We'll keep this, both our colors, and then Runebound Wolf on turn 2. Always don't mind leaving up red opening turn just to maybe signal we might have Flame Blessed Bolt. Could see a Flame Blessed Bolt from the opponent here, since there's a slight pause, and there it is. Visionary, I'm fine just killing. I don't really want him to tap. Yeah, let's just use it now. I really don't want him drawing a card off of this. Even though he does take 2 damage, and we do want to beat him in the race, having him draw an extra card isn't worth it. And now Mariner is a good pickup here, so there's not much removal in red that can deal with 4 toughness. So that's great. And then we also have the initiative, so if the opponent plays his own, we can kill it with Wolf Strike. Or just Abrade a Lightning Wolf, which isn't great, so no. Don't play this card, guys. It's not worth it. Trust me. And then we can probably win the game if we can keep crashing through like this. Ooh, opponent has Lacerate Flesh. Alright, so that might slow me down. And yeah, luckily we didn't put Bramble Worm in our deck, otherwise we'd be having weird hands like this. It's nighttime, so now Wolf Strike can deal 4 damage to something. Hope he doesn't drop a Flourishing Hunter out of nowhere. Alright, let's move to combat. So opponent doesn't have anything. He could also be holding on to a bunch of non-creature spells, like a Flame Blessed Bolt. Okay. And yeah, double blood, almost like drawing a card in the late game. Volatile Arsonist we can kill. Since it's nighttime, I'm definitely going to take 5 here. This card is busted. Ooh, this is a bomb, but luckily we have Wolf Strike, thank god. So sometimes actively having Wolf Strike is better. I'm gonna kill it now before he makes it daytime, since the card is too scary, and I'm fine playing out land here without discarding. And then we also gain the extra damage, so we can gain 4 next turn and attack for 4. So it's probably just game over here. Yeah, it's easily game over. Wow, yeah, that was scary. Volatile Arsonist. But luckily we were in the initiative and yeah, could answer it. Not sure if he would even have won if he had the Volatile Arsonist. I'd still be gaining 4 life, and I guess I wouldn't have the extra 2 damage to punch in for 6. So either way, both games he might have still had a chance. Awkward hand. I don't know if I can keep this. On the draw, we can play Wedding Invitation on turn 2. Not liking this. I think I need an earlier curve with creatures, and this is slightly better. I think I can keep, and then we can bomb Wedding Invitation since all of these have better utility. Yeah, and I do want to hit my land 4, so I don't think I bomb any lands. Invite is pretty cool with the vampires, but it's okay. We can outclass them with the Dormant Grove later. So blue-white, it's a strong archetype. Brian Comer on turn 3 would be kind of scary here. I don't know if I can beat that, since Traveling Minister can pump flowers. Wanderlight Spirits, okay, that's not the worst. So I probably just want a statue and eventually take out the Traveling Minister. Like, I'll be taking a little bit of a beating in the air, but it should still be okay. This will eventually become a 5/5. So he could be holding up a counterspell or a Fierce Retribution here. Either way, I'm still going to play Dormant Grove, and then next turn we set something up. And then I'm going to load up counters onto the Sporeback Wolf, since this can become a 5/5 later. And maybe he has a bounce spell here, or a Retribution. Could be any one of those. There it is. Alright, so we'll just say go. End of turn we can activate the Foreboding Statue to put a counter onto it. And then I guess we can start enhancing the Foreboding Statue, kill the Minister. Could also have another counter spell, but we'll see what happens. We'll strike now. Could also move to combat first, so I think I'm fine moving to combat, and then we can now use Wolf Strike to kill the Traveling Minister. And then I can't kill the 2/3, so I could, if I attack with this, we don't get to transform this quickly, so I think we just say go, leave up the Wolf Strike. And then maybe kill this next turn. This does nothing. Or Braid isn't bad. So, yeah, I guess we can move to combat. And then I guess I can tap it for green. And then try to Braid the 2/3, and if he has something in response, we can just Wolf Strike it. This will transform and untap next turn. Right, that's good. So it could just be holding again a bunch of non-creature spells, or maybe just a bunch of lands. Cemetery Protector, that's a problem. Alright, so that's going to smash. I guess we can still kill it on its upkeep. It's because since this is going to transform and untap. So I think I put a stop on his upkeep before draw, in case he draws into a counterspell. And then we do want to kill this, otherwise he just keeps, he can just keep, how does this work? So I target creature I control. I guess I'm holding full control and I try to kill this now. I could also use this on this turn to make him waste mana, but then he gets untap and maybe hold up a syncopate. So yep. Beguiler can start tapping it, but hopefully I can eventually draw into some good cards, better cards. Move to combat, and then we'll definitely smashing for 8. Never mind, I guess I can keep this back. I mean, either way, I had no choice but to enhance this and make it into an 8/8. Given that I don't have any other creatures on the battlefield. So, I guess I can move to combat. He taps this, I can attack for 3. Confinements, I guess, can answer this, so that's kind of annoying. But at least I still have a good blocker against this 2/5. I guess I can abrade. Is that an artifact? No. Let's just move to combat here. Probably tap down my... I guess I can attack, and then if he blocks, I use abrade to finish it off. And yeah, I don't mind doing that. Maybe play land first, in case of syncopate. Since he can pay syncopate for 5, and I can at least pay for it. So this is good. If this was an artifact, maybe I freed a circle, but then it would take a million years to kind of activate this over and over again. Alright, so could have also attacked first and maybe feign something, but then he would definitely have blocked. But now he can't really afford to tap anything. I guess he can tap my 4/4 and just take 3. I guess he can triple block, but that's fine. Let's lead by sacrificing a land here. I mean, discarding a land. So I'm hoping I don't get forced, otherwise that's awkward. Okay, Ballista Watcher is fine. I could just attack for 4 here, or attack with both. If he taps the Celebrants, I don't mind attacking for 3. He could chump with the Brine Comer and then enhance his flyer again, but at least I can crash it for 3. And now Ballista Watcher is really good here. Hopefully no counterspell. Damn it, why does it have to be a counterspell? Yeah, just when I needed a way to ping off his 1/1 flyers, he had to have a counterspell. And it also makes him a blood so he can find more action, so not looking good here. But maybe, hopefully I don't hit a huge land pocket and I should be fine. Witness the future, alright. So yeah, he can look pretty deep, so he can find a pretty useful card here. Like a Catilda, yeah, damn it. And it's also a 5/5 of lifelink, so we need to find a second Wolf Strike to deal with this. Otherwise we're in trouble. So unfortunately this green mana has to go, and if I don't have it, I think I'm just going to concede. I don't think I can win from this position. Yep, maybe I can still take it. I mean, it's not the worst. This has protection from vampires, so I can't even really attack into it. I mean, I can still draw maybe a Flourishing Hunter or my Wolf Strike to take this out. Although, I don't have any nighttime or daytime, so it's still going to be a 5/5. Yeah, it's just over. Darn it, why did he have the counterspell into Catilda? So unfortunate. We're doing so well. And the opponent just counters our Ballista Watcher, which could have just shrunk his team. And we would have been in decent shape. Even if he had Catilda, we could have, again, lowered the amount of spirits that he has, and eventually turn it nighttime to activate multiple times. So we should have been fine if it wasn't for the dumb Catilda, counterspell into Catilda off the top. That was really dumb. This deck doesn't have the bomb rares, but it has good cards at least. And that's an example of a rare that just invalidated our whole entire deck. I mean, our whole entire game plan that game, so just keep playing. Even with Wolf Strike again, we wouldn't have won. Like, it has protection from vampires, so we couldn't deal. Either way, if it's at 4 toughness, we couldn't deal with it. Just very unfortunate. Okay, what do we have here? No green mana. We're on the play. I don't think I can keep this. Like, it's just obviously a green mana off the top would be great, but either way, even if we're able to cast Pax on Pup, we don't have any good werewolves to follow up, so definitely easy mulligan. And then we'll probably keep this, and then I can probably bomb the Hungry Ridge Wolf, because I think this has more utility in the late game. So, I could always just leave with a Runebound Wolf first, since this is going to become a 2-2 anyways, and this plays around removal a bit better. So I'll probably leave with a Runebound Wolf. Like, if I play Pax on Pup, it's going to be a 2-2, so I'll be attacking for 2 anyways. So that's my argument for playing this. I could also play Pax on Pup since we're locked in green. We're stuck with green mana. Either way, this is fine. And then if this goes unanswered again, we just win the game. Pax on Pup is really a ridiculous common in red-green. Could see a Brinecombr here. Fleeting Spirits. Okay, so if there's a Fleeting Spirit, I probably just want to kill the Perished Blade Trainee. I could also just attack with a Runebound Wolf, offer to trade with the Fleeting Spirits, and take it from there. I mean, I'm going to braid the Perished Blade Trainee anyway, so I don't mind trading for the Fleeting Spirits or just attacking for 2. And I probably don't want to braid this because he can just discard and flicker it, so I'm down to just kill the Perished Blade Trainee next turn. Or maybe I can let him attack, and then if he attacks, I can respond. Although, if it dies, he can put a counter somewhere, so that's also just very annoying. So he might be able to make this into a 4-2 that can chip in for 2, but then my Pax on Pup can start growing out of hand, so I think I'm fine just passing, keeping both my instances up. And then if he tries to attack here, we can block, and if he tries to pump, we're good. Okay, so now we want to braid the trainee. And then the question is, am I fine keeping the Runebound Wolf back to deal with the Fleeting Spirits? Maybe, but there's also an argument of not doing so, because if we get assuming we get a 5th land, we can just play Celebrants to hold this off all day, so there's an argument for just attacking with the Runebound Wolf. And yeah, I'm probably just going to do that now, and hope he doesn't have removal to deal with the Celebrants. Could see a 1 mana deal 2, actually, so maybe I shouldn't have attacked. Opponent did miss the land drop, I feel like, since... Yeah, he missed the land drop, so that's good for us. If this was an artifact, that would be cool, we could have killed it. Statue, I guess we could kill the statue next turn. Maybe force a double block to happen first. Could just attack with both too. But I might want to keep this around. Just start burning him. Let's attack first. And then if he double blocks, I can abrade the Foreboding Statue. And maybe force him to flicker the Fleeting Spirit. And if not, we just kill it. But first things first, let's loot first. And I might not loot... No, actually I'm going to loot a second time if I get a land. I was thinking maybe I can activate the Runebound Wolf, but I'm fine discarding a land at this point. And hopefully we don't draw into a 6-drop Flourishing Hunter. Okay, Wolf Strike isn't bad, but I probably just want to braid the Foreboding Statue now to slow him down. This way he doesn't get the ramp and play any 4-drops. Or 5 drops. I could also main phase the Wolf Strike before he tries to block. So that way, alright, he's just going to attack. I don't think I have any good blocks because he can give a first strike. So no blocks here. I can always wait until he exile and then Wolf Strike eventually, and I should be able to win the race if the opponent isn't careful. I'm definitely going to kill that for sure. Ooh, alright, Flame Blessed Bolt was perfect. And then I can attack for 6 and then force him back on defense. Can even Wolf Strike end of turn if we want to. Usually a card like this is excellent, but the 2 toughness is a liability in this format. So that's why it is a great card that you should play in almost any blue deck, but definitely not as good as like a Murmuring Mystic, for example, in Guilds of Ravnica. Since the Murmuring Mystic was a 2/5, that was not only a great blocker that made flyers, but since this is a 4-mana 3/2, it's just not great at blocking, and it dies to a lot of removal. So what's this? A bounce spell, maybe? That's interesting to note. What's this instant that he's holding up? Okay, Dormant Grove isn't bad. I guess I can always just Dormant Grove on the Falcon Wrath Celebrants and take it from there. I'm afraid he might have a... if I do this, he might have a first strike trick. That could be a problem. Huh. I mean, if I attack with this in the trades, it's actually not that bad. Maybe I attack first. Like, I could Dormant Grove pump this attack, but then if he has, like, Adamant Will, that's kind of annoying. But either way, I still think I do it. And then maybe order the Perish Blade trainee first, so... I think we move the combats, put it here, so then he doesn't have a good double block. And this is lethal, and then he's kind of... he does need, like, an Adamant Will. I guess he could have a Fierce Retribution, so I don't want to attack with both. Let's just swing this, and we could see a Fierce Retribution here. Yep, probably see it here. Okay, Retrieval. Alright. I'm going to be surprised if he decides to attack next turn, because we can just almost kill him. Okay, Scattered Thoughts main phase. So if he attacks here, that's going to be interesting. He doesn't have first strike, but he can flicker the Fleeting Spirit. So I could still block this, just to prevent him from constantly training onto this trainee. There goes Adamant Will. He definitely has a land, right? I have to imagine he kept a land, because you can't miss land drops in these games. Attacks? Are you serious? What does this imply? I mean, he doesn't have a land, so I don't know what this implies. I think he forgot to play his land. I guess he has a land to follow up into something. No, that was just a bad play. Maybe he forgot to play a land and he had a trick. Or he forgot to attack with the Fleeting Spirit and give it a counter. Either way, he was pretty far behind in that match. Alright, 2-drop Child, seems good. Hopefully we just don't draw a million lands here and get some playables. Do I care about this? Not really. I could just attack and then this can just block this, even if he has a blood token. So I'm fine just taking 2 and try to race the opponent. Desperate Farmer. Maybe I just kill this end of turn. I think I will. Obviously, I wouldn't mind a Flame Blessed Bolt to exile, but I do want to curve into Child of the Pact if I can. And then we can just, like, pass a turn, make wolves all day. Hopefully no Bleed Dry. Maybe see a Bleed Dry. Yeah, they always have it. Why do they always have Bleed Dry? And then we're just drawing nothing but lands, so, I mean, I guess we're ahead in the race, so we might as well keep attacking. That's a scary one. So I probably want to stay back with a Sporeback Wolf now and maybe offer a trade with the Ravager. Can I have something good? A Wolf Strike isn't bad. I guess now I can kill this instead. Yeah, let's just do that. And it's nighttime, so I get the extra 4 power bonus. And then I do need my 6th land eventually, so I'll play out land, attack for 4, and then say go. So that was a nice top deck. Can I have creatures, please? Game. A Fearful Villager I can abrade end of turn. I'll take 2. And then abrade this and hope he doesn't have an Undying Malice. Can I get a creature? 6-drop, 5-drop? Ooh, that's a good one. I'll take that. Hoping we can find another creature next turn so we don't have to transform Dormant Grove. But even then, it'll become a 3/6 that can attack, so that's not bad. Anger, so he's going to get a bit aggressive here. Luckily, no Kessic Flame Breather to go along with it, since that's a scary card with the Ancestral Anger. Yeah, opponent might be forced to stay back, because if I put a counter here, this will become a 3/6 next turn. So it might be... Okay, I guess he's just going to chump with the Voldaren Epicure, which I think he might. But this will be a 3/6 Vigilance. So it might be beneficial for me to actually keep the Dormant Grove, put a counter on the Sporeback Wolf so it transforms into a 3/6, so we have an extra creature. And if the opponent's going to attack like this, then that means he's chumping, I have to imagine. But then we can still block the Ragged Recluse. Okay, a Wolf Strike isn't bad. We can always keep that around on his turn. So yeah, let's move to combat, put a counter. I guess I can Wolf Strike now and kill him, so... You know what, let's just do this, and then let's Wolf Strike. So we don't have to waste any more time. And even if the opponent has an Undying Malice, he's just dead, so... Alright. That was a nice pickup. Didn't get to see too much creatures in that game, but luckily we had enough interaction to get through. Now that I think about it, I think Falkenrath Celebrants is the number 5 when it comes to top commons. Like, I could see myself taking it over Lantern Bearer, and like a guy again, Cigar's Imprisonment and Fierce Retribution. But I definitely wouldn't take over like Traveling Minister or even Bleed Dry. The problem with Bleed Black in general is that outside of Bleed Dry, the rest of the other commons are okay. I mean, they're still good, but they're just not the same power level. Something like a Braid or Flame Blessed Bolt or Falkenrath Celebrants. You have the Diregraph Scavenger in 4, which exiles, gains you 2, and is a 2/3 Death Toucher. Good card, but again, clunky with the 4 drops, along with Bleed Dry. And then there's also the Blood Crazed Socialite, 4 mana, 3/3 Menace. that makes a blood token when it attacks, gets +2/+2, and then there's Gluttonous Guest for 3. So, like the black's better commons outside Bleed Dry are mostly just the creatures. So it's interesting. So I'd probably maybe go Abrade, Bleed Dry, Flame Blessed Bolts, Traveling Minister, and then Falkenrath Celebrants, and then afterwards it's all like contextual. If you're a more defensive white deck, you want Fierce Retribution. If you're more aggressive, you want Imprisonment. If blue is open, you take the Lantern Bearer, or if green's open, you take Weaver Blossoms. Something along that line. But, yeah. Who knows? This hand sucks. No red mana. If we have a single red mana, this can go a long way, but sometimes the game... it's funny, because in the previous draft, like, we always have Avabrook Caretaker and at least 4 lands to get there, but like these hands have been really awkward. So I guess the game is kind of programmed to nerf me at this point. We'll keep. I don't really want a bottom child pack. I also don't want to bomb a land or any of these. I think it's between these two drops. This can become a 3/2 trample, but I feel like maybe Sporeback Wolf is just a better attacker in the long run. Although we do have removal to back up the Hungry Ridgewolf, so you know what? I'll take the Ridgewolf instead. It just deals more damage. And again, we have removal to back everything up. Could just Flame Blessed Bolt this immediately. I think I'll just do it before he has mana to untap. And I don't want him bringing this back. Now this can attack as a 3/2. Okay. Maybe he wants a Sporeback Wolf. Could just pass and say go. Honestly, I don't really care about this. If it attacks back, we'll be attacking back for more. Because if I attack here, he's just going to enhance my Fearful Villager and then nerf it. Whereas if he passes the turn, I can just attack for 4. Now the question is, with all his open mana, he might have a counterspell. So I might be more inclined to just pass the turn, but if he just Lunar Rejections, then I'm just going to play the Child pack and hope he doesn't have Syncopate. Syncopate would be pretty bad here, but I gotta let this resolve at least. Alright, doesn't have anything instant concession. Well, I mean, even if he passed the turn, I might not have attacked, given that I'm afraid of Fierce Retribution. Maybe it was better to just Abrade and then attack for 4, but then I probably want to play the Fearful Villager, so the best turn of events would have been maybe draw into a land, play the Wedding Invitation into Fearful Villager, or draw land, Abrade the 3/1, attack with the Hungry Ridgewolf, maybe bait out a removal spell, and then play the Fearful Villager. Hope he has a counter spell. I don't know. But these games are pretty quick, as we're already 4 wins and 1 loss. So Red-Green Werewolves, very powerful if it comes together. I still don't think. I mean, it could be close to tier 1. Actually, I don't know. It's definitely maybe top of tier 2 when it comes to archetypes. Maybe it's close in power level with black white or red blue. But I know for sure red black and blue white are the best archetypes in the set for sure. Right, 2-drop, 3-drop, 4-drop, 5-drop. No interaction, but we have a curve at least. Hopefully draw into interaction, obviously. So, yeah, we'll keep it. So another blue-white deck. So can attack into that. If he attacks, do we block? That's another question. Like, it might be fine. I could sub a double block. If I sub a double block and he has a removal for the Fearful Villager or a bounce spell, that could be a problem. I could block, maybe bait out a 1-mana deal 2 or a Adamant Will, so maybe that's okay, since we can just keep blocking this with future cards, and that might force him to tap out, so then we can resolve Child of the Pack on turn 4, so I think I'm fine blocking the 2-3. I could also maybe force a blowout here, and then I can still play Child of the Pack and resolve it. But then the Runebound Wolf is so powerful in the late game, I don't really want to get rid of it, so... Okay, Nurturing Presence. So I'm probably not going to attack into this. Block this, I mean. Okay, I guess he passes a turn. I guess that implies he doesn't have anything. So I could play around Syncopate, but since the turn's passed by really quickly, I can assume he doesn't have it. So let's go. Yep, and it resolves pretty quickly. No blocks here. And then maybe we can just load up a bunch of werewolves and eventually take over the game by draining him with the Runebound Wolf and making wolves of the Child of the Pack. The flyer is potentially a problem still. So luckily he Nurturing Presence on the 3-4 and not the flyer. Yeah, it's probably still Celebrants here since it can attack quite nicely. We'll be taking a bit of a beating in the air. If this transforms, we can get in some huge attacks. He'll also be gaining a ton of life with Heron, so Heron is kind of like a must deal with at this stage, I think. But we're still going to have to set up a board at least. Comer is annoying. Darn it. Yeah, blue. You can see how powerful blue-white is. A lot of life gain and then a lot of flyers that can help race. This is a strange attack. Do I just triple block this? I think I would quad block this if he goes for it, because I can't really afford to take all this damage. Yeah, I'll block with everyone. He could have an Adamant Will. I mean, he could have Adamant Will, so I could need to be careful. But I think, given how scared I am, I'm just gonna put everything in front. Worst case scenario, Adamant Will. Best case scenario, he might not have anything. The other scenario is that he could have like a 1 removal spell, but then we can still kill this, and I'd be quite happy. So let's see here. Adamant Will would kind of suck because he gets to kill both of these, which are pretty important. Okay, alright, at least that's fine. So he might enhance his flyer now, or might put on the Brinecomer, which can make a 1/1 Flying Spirit. I still want to keep playing out my lands. Okay, Flame Blessed Bolt was a nice gift. So I think I just attack with these two because he could have a Fierce Retribution. He could also have a counter spell here. You know what? Let's just attack with... He could have a Retribution, so I don't necessarily want to attack with Child. So I think we just send both of these and see what's up. Maybe bait out the counter spell of a Foreboding Statue. So let's play a Sporeback Wolf. He might counter it, and I'm okay with that. Okay, if he doesn't counter it, then I might just Flame Blessed Bolt to play around Syncopate instead. I think the Brinecomer is a good target. Hopefully no +1/+1 Cradle safety. Oh, he might have it here. Oh, darn, that would suck. Okay, that's... Okay, I'll take that. Chill's fine. But at least his aura is gone. And I can keep deploying my stuff. We can start making wolves next turn. And then if we're able to enhance transform this, we can get in some huge attacks. I could also keep the Runebound Wolf back to also drain. Okay, opponent's just gonna try to get in with the flyers now. So it might just be better making wolves and then just going for some alpha attacks and hope he doesn't kill us in like 3 hits. That's a lot to ask for, but still. So we have 7 mana available. We can only utilize this once. I mean, I guess if we get a land, we can activate this twice and then start draining with the Runebound Wolf as well. So maybe I don't really want to discard any lands to the Blood Token, because it can be awkward if I don't deal with the flyers. Although I really can't even attack next turn. Yeah, he's just going to activate here. Alright, so I could just play both lands and then transform everyone and then hopefully just kill him. How much damage would it be? It would be a lot of damage, actually. But this is kind of like a 2-turn clock, so I don't know here. This is rough. Maybe it's still enough. I don't know my math. Guys, help me, I don't know my math here. So the thing is this, if he hits me for 6 next turn, I mean, I can always decide next turn, I guess. And then I can drain him for 1, 2, 3, 4. But I mean, I probably just want to transform and go wide regardless. So let's just do this, and then hopefully we can just smork him out. And then if we don't have enough, if he's keeping back blockers, we might need to find removal to deal with this while attacking. Maybe this wasn't the right choice, I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 damage guarantee with the Runebound Wolf. But he's just going to gain a ton of life and try to kill us in the air, which is a problem. So yeah, even with large creatures, the blue-white deck can do some pretty stupid things, gaining a million life. And he's also attacking with all, so funny enough, there's no fear. I mean, I could still just attack with all next turn and pray I can kill him. 29 life, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So not quite there yet. So maybe we need to find some removal to deal with the Cruel Witness here and just take it slow. So I'm probably going to discard any creature I get and try to find an Abrade or something. Dormant Grove. I guess he turned to daytime, never mind. Yeah, I need to find my removal, so unfortunately Dormant Grove has to go, as much as I like that card. And that's not an Abrade. Can I get an Abrade off the top, please? That's also not an Abrade. Yeah, this is dumb. Oh well. Can't beat the busted archetype. So yeah, tier 1. Tier 1 blue-white, of course. Can't beat that. I needed some removal to deal with the flyer at least. Maybe like 1 flyer, and then we could have maybe attacked and then kill him on the way back again. So that was rough. Any opponent had enough cheap spells to also just transform my team. So I still wouldn't have been able to kill him, so that sucks. Okay, 4 and 2, still a decent win rate. Let's keep playing. Ridge Wolf, okay. Dormant Grove, not bad. Both our colors seems good. We still need to accumulate 3 more wins to get the trophy. Ooh, Paxson Pup. Alright, same logic. We want to start with the Hungry Ridge Wolf. I mean, this will deal 3 damage regardless. So it's definitely the right choice playing Hungry Ridge Wolf into Paxson Pup first. And probably don't want to attack into this Desperate Farmer, or maybe we're fine doing so. I think I leave the Paxson Pup for sure. And then I guess if the Desperate Farmer still dies, we still have a Fearful Villager as follow-up, so I think I'm fine attacking and offering to trade. Still takes it. Alright, so he could have a removal spell here and then attack back for life gain. Could make... I guess that would make sense. Edgar, alright, that's a bomb. Why did it have to be Edgar? So now what? I could play Dormant Grove and maybe start loading up counters everywhere so then we can have some big blockers. I don't mind that. And then, yeah, we'll just put a counter on the Hungry Ridge Wolf. Can still take 4 from Edgar, eventually get enough counters, so then Edgar won't be able to attack past any of these, but we'll take 4 here. Yeah, no blocks. Probably just want to power up the Ridge Wolf the Wolf Song Pup next turn into a 5 toughness creature. A Braid is cool. Probably just still play the Ballista Watcher here, not planning to abrade anything. Again, we just want to make some high toughness blockers. Yeah, we'll just put everything on the Paxson Pup so then Edgar can't attack into it. He might suicide Edgar just to make 1/1s all day, so I might just take 1 more hit. But he plays a Beguiler instead, sure, so he can tap my stuff down. Celebrants isn't bad, alright, so we'll just clog up the board, I guess. That's the name of the game. And then, yeah, enhance the Celebrants now. And hope he doesn't have a sweeper. If he has Path to the Peril, that would be pretty sad. So maybe the plan now is just to grow a giant Ballista Watcher. No, not Ballista Watcher. I could just tap here and just kill this Traveling Minister, honestly. I guess I can wait until next his turn, but then I won't be able to cast a 2-mana spell, so I think this is fine. Ping this. Maybe game plan is now to drain him out with the Runebound Wolf. Alright, that's annoying. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. That was probably a wrong play. So maybe I need to keep up a Braid in case he has something here. So maybe I'm better off just putting a counter, holding up a Braid and passing. I guess he can tap 2 creatures down now. Alright, I might need to trade this Runebound Wolf. And then just abrade the Desperate Harvester, Depraved Harvester, because he might just do too much damage here. I mean, I could just take it too, since that will also give me a good blocker. I'll be taking 8, which is a lot of damage. Maybe I'm fine with the trade regardless. Courier Bat can bring it back. He can't cast it. Okay, I can just ping the Courier Bat now, I guess, which is fine. And then I guess I can attack with Paxson Pup. Do I put another counter onto it? Maybe I put in a Celebrant since I have Wedding Invitation to eventually gain a ton of life. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that because I needed more life, but everything has Vigilance. Okay, surprise. Alright, we still killed him. Or he just conceded because he knew my creatures were just going to get too large. I wasn't thinking there. I forgot that it transformed when it was at 6 toughness. So maybe the right pump was... I guess we didn't have any right pumps because everything was at 6 toughness. But I still think it was right killing the flyer that turn and getting value off the ballista. The tree also gave everyone vigilance, so we could just keep attacking. So that was a pretty good game for us. No 2-drops, but we do have a 3-drop on the play with Child. I think we keep. Can't really afford to mull on the play when you are guaranteed a 3-drop. Definitely a slow hand, but whatever. It's better than... It could be worse. Traveling Minister on turn 1 is always the scariest. But luckily we have a 2-drop. Eventually you might want to kill this. Don't want to kill this now necessarily. Guess he has a good block here, so... Yeah, I guess we just curve out here. I'm not really afraid of Kessig Flame Breather in a red-white deck. Usually this is a better card in a non-creature heavy deck. Okay, a Brave, that's a good one, but then you can pump his Flame Breather and attack for 2. Or use a Flame Blessed Bolt, okay. Fair enough. So nice 1-2 punch. But we have some better stuff here. Do I just play Child here? Could just play Mariner if it transforms is a lot better. And I don't really want to get Child locked down. I mean, if he gets locked down, it's not the worst. I still have an activated ability, but I feel like this is better in the late game when I have more mana. So Mariner is fine. If he pumps an attack, he could have the Adamant Will. The question is, do I block when he does that? Probably. The damage is just going to accumulate over time, and that's a problem. Like, blocking here isn't bad if he has another Anger into something else. Okay, this is okay. Yeah, I'll block if he attacks. If he doesn't, that's still okay. Do I attack? Yeah, he is gaining life. I mean, there's a chance he could kill my creature and then deal more damage. But I think I'm fine attacking. He could also have a Flame Blessed Bolt, so maybe not. Yeah, maybe not, because Flame Blessed Bolt would be pretty awkward here because I don't want to use a Braid or anything to blow him out. Just want to develop my board for now and take it from there. Falcon Raft Celebrants, so I might want to Wolf Strike that instead of playing my own. Or just let it transform. Dormant Grove also is pretty good here. So I could Dormant Grove instead, enhancing the Hookhand Mariner, or maybe just kill this immediately now. Maybe just killing this immediately is the right thing to do. And then I'm fine attacking for 4 because I do need to start getting in. Hopefully no stupid flyer that I can't kill. Maybe Imprisonment here, and I'll be taking 6 or 7. He might have something if he does this attack. He might have something, but I still think we block. He could have an Adamant Will, which I think he has. Okay, just does this, so he might have a removal spell to follow up the child. Makes sense. Alright, that's fine. It's a 2-for-1. And I don't take the extra damage. And yeah, now Celebrance is quite nice. Let's attack. Could see a Fierce Retribution, but we do have Falcon Wrath Celebrance to follow up. And then maybe we can try to kill one of these later. So holding up priority with the blood. But luckily our creatures are pretty large in this deck, so he needs pump spells and extra ways to get across. Impulse, that's a good one. Yeah, and this damage from the Reckless Fire Weaver, this Keswick Flame Breather is doing a lot. So the thing is, he can cast the Fierce Retribution anyways next turn. So I might just want to kill the Keswick Flame Breather immediately. I don't. The Traveling Minister is powerful, but I think this is more annoying. So yeah, let's just kill this now. And then play the Runebound Wolf, fine taking 2 on the way back. Or even trading, I guess. Trading isn't the worst. Yeah, trading is the worst, and I do want to attack for 8, so then he eventually might need to chump with the Traveling Minister. So he's kind of guaranteed to get a land anyways with Double Blood. He can easily just discard any creature he has in his hand. So he's probably going to use the Fierce Retribution for 6. I'm fine trading the Parish Blade Trainee. I do have blood to find creatures, and then Dormant Grove can also start growing my stuff. So I think I'm fine. We should be able to maybe win this game. And I'll block the Parish Blade Trainee for sure. Just don't want him to train onto this and put counters. That can be a bit of a problem. And then, ooh, Flame Blessed Bolt, that's a good one. Might want to hold on to it for now, because he could have something that's more concerning to deal with. Although stopping the life gain here is good. Yeah, if I stop the life gain, I basically win, so maybe killing this is fine. Like, once I make this into a 6/6, he doesn't have a good double block, and I should be able to kill him. Unless he has removal. So he's going to try to dig for an answer here. Maybe a second Retribution, but then I get to smack in for 3 of the Dormant Grove, since this will transform most likely next turn. And yep, sweet. So now we're 6-2. Alright, final boss. Can we do it? Either way, the only way to know is to hit the play button. So we would have a quadruple Abrade in this deck, but I'm not even sure if I wanted to play 4 Abrades. Like, it's funny, we took an Abrade over Dawnheart Disciple, and then we were past all these other 2-drops. But I still think we didn't need quadruple Abrade in this deck, so didn't really mind. With 3 Abrades, I think the deck was set. And having multiple copies can be awkward if they can't deal with big threats. This hand, however, is really awkward. We're on the play. Extra land into for his building statue would be nice. But then if he has a removal for building statue, it's kind of bad. But either way, I mean, this is the final boss, so gotta believe. I just need a 3rd land for building statue and eventually green mana. How hard can that be? Against a Voldaren Epicure turn 1? I guess I shouldn't have taken the risk. Okay, 3rd land, that's good. Hopefully this doesn't run into any removal spells and we should be fine. I can end of turn kill something important. I'm not going to use a Braid on a 1-drop. Maybe on a Blood type Harvester or Ragged Recluse I might. Caustic Flame Breather, I might actually use it on Flame Breather just to be mana efficient. And again, I have 2 more copies of this already. The damage can add up from the non-creature spells, so I'm going to kill the Caustic Flame Breather for sure. And then hope we can use this rock. So please no removal spell, opponent. I know you're the final boss, but this time be nice. Don't touch it, come on. Don't touch it. No, don't hover it. Just play your spell and pass a turn. Oh my god, yep. Alright, rip. But we'll draw in the green mana. I believe we can. Like, the map base is even split. Okay, and there we go. We could just double spell here to maybe play around Bleed Dry, but yeah, we could just do that, and this can deal more damage. And then either way, they're both 2 power, so even if I have Wolf Strike for the following turn, we're better off just using one of these creatures to fight either way, so this is okay. Opponent doesn't sack his blood. Overall, opponent didn't apply that much pressure currently, so I'm still in decent shape. Blood Hypnotist can't block. Either way, I'm fine still having him attack next turn. So I'm fine just attacking with both, since I don't really want to double block the Hypnotist. And he's most likely going to use this ability to stop my Child of the Pack from blocking, so let's just move the attacks, attack for 4, and then I'll take 3 on the way back. There's a chance he could use his blood end of turn 2, and then he doesn't get to use the blood Hypnotist. So we didn't get punished for playing these 2 drops out, because otherwise if we had another land we would have at least maybe considered Wolf Strike into a 2-drop. So he's probably going to use this and then hit me for 3. I can still make Wolves on the way back. And then maybe keep this up as a blocker along with maybe Wolf Strike, potentially. Yeah, I could just transform and make this into a 5/5/2. And then the team will get pumped. Impulse, okay. Alright, so he probably needs... So he doesn't have red mana for Sure Strike. He could have it next turn, but I should still be fine. Okay, so I could just play land, pass, and just activate Child. I think I like that. And then since he has Sure Strike, I don't really care about not blocking. He still won't be able to kill me here. So I could just block the 1/1 and force the Sure Strike on the 3/2 just to prevent me from taking so much damage. I guess he has Bleed Dry here. Yeah, he has it. So probably don't want to block any of this since I need this extra body to help in the late game. Okay, doesn't cast Sure Strike. Alright. Interesting. I'll take 3. I should be okay still. And I can still Wolf Strike attack for 6 and then play something else here. So let's just Wolf Strike this now. And then attack for 6, play the 3-drop, and then we should be able to activate Runebound Wolf to win the game. Since if I attack for 4, next turn if Runebound Wolf survives, then I can just activate it and kill him. and then this can't block, so we should be good. So yeah, the problem with this not being able to block is kind of a downside. It is a decent stat line for 3 mana and has a decent effect, but this also only just triggers once. So unless you're the aggressive version of the red-black deck that's trying to avoid high toughness creatures like Flame Breather, although Flame Breather is pretty good in aggro with all the non-creature spells, it's not that great if you're being more defensive, obviously. So yeah, the 3-drop department in red usually has the belligerent guest, the 3-mana 3/2. Whenever it deals combat damage, you make a blood token. I believe that has trample as well. And then there's the gluttonous guest, the 3-mana 1/4 that makes a blood token. Whenever you sacrifice a blood token, you gain 1 life. Both conflict at 3 mana, so you can kind of assume red-black is a mid-range deck that can play the aggro game plan and the grindy game plan. Here we're not going to block, we're not going to die at 10 life. You would need a way to kill the Runebound Wolf or a way to interact with it. And the Visionary is probably not going to do it here. Alright, so we can just activate Runebound Wolf and that's game over. And even if he kill one my wolf, I can still attack with 2 others and force a block. So yep, another sweet 7-win victory. 7-2 again. First match we almost went 7-1. And then this draft, forgot what we lost to again. I think I lost to the blue-white Spirits deck, and then not sure what the other loss was against. But the first draft we did, we lost against 2 black-red decks, I think. No, we lost against another green-red deck with Paxson Pup on turn 2. And then I think we lost against a black-red deck. And then in this draft, we definitely lost against blue-white. And then I forgot what the other deck we lost against was. But yeah, another nice solid 7 wins with red-green. So don't sleep on red-green. It's definitely a strong deck. And yeah, let's just take a look at it. This time, no Averbrook Caretaker, but we still got the job done. And not playing Brambleworm, I think, wasn't a mistake, since again we just was lacking ramp, and we were mostly looking just to beat down. Didn't see Paxson Pup too much in any of our games. I think we only saw him in 2 games, and that was about it. Also didn't see Sporecrawler that much as well. And then overall, just a really solid deck with some decent interactions, a good curve, some nice late game. And yeah, we didn't even sneak in a Wedding Invitation with Lifelink hit, I don't think, in any of the matchups. But still don't regret it, since this can at least be more impactful, actually, than a Brambleworm, funny enough. Because this is almost like Brambleworm in a sense. Like, Brambleworm is a creature that can trample over, deal damage, and gain you life. And then if you're able to make a creature unblockable and gain you life, then it's almost similar. So, yeah, I think it was just better to have it cheap spells, just so the chance... Because it's in Magic, you can just get locked on mana pretty severely if you don't have ways to any mana dorks to help you ramp. So it's always important to just prioritize a cheaper spell more, and this is a good common. So overall, pretty awesome draft, I have to say. And I think we have 12 packs to open now that we've accumulated 2 7-win drafts. So let's claim our prize. And let's just pretend we're drafting Crimson Vow. And I'll probably just do a second video, and hopefully we just don't end up drafting red-green all day. But as you can see, it is a strong archetype, and Paxson Pup is definitely a card that's not wrong to first pick, even though it does commit you to deck with werewolves. The werewolves in this set are just very good. The werewolves in the last set were also good, not going to lie, but the problem was that there was just too much cheap interaction that dealt with it, especially in black and blue. Like Eaten Alive was really strong, since there was Decayed, and then also a lot of good creatures to sacrifice. So it's almost like 1 mana, kill your 4-drop. And then like Defenestrate, the Silverbolt messed with werewolves. Even Olivia's Midnight Ambush made werewolves a lot worse, since if you just turn at nighttime, it just gives the werewolf -13/-13. So overall, yeah, the green did prove in Innistrad Crimson Vow a lot more than it did in Midnight Hunt. I still think it's one of the worst colors along with blue. So maybe once double feature comes out, green is still going to be a color that's very open, and black is going to be the most contested color since it was great in both sets. So yeah, let's give this a shot. Pack one, pick one. Crimson Vow. Dreadfeast Demon is insane. You obviously take this. You slam dunk this card all the time, right? Come on, like, unless you aren't drafting the deck, but even in like a team draft, I might hate draft this or even try to splash this if I'm in green. Since green has a lot of good mana fixing, you can try to go for the double black hard splash route, and this is fine. So yeah, Dreadfeast Demon. No other exciting cards in this pack, honestly. This white uncommon isn't very good. Same with this blue uncommon. Actually, they're just all okay. Shoulder Bog is pretty unplayable, but yeah. Path of Peril is strong, but again, not a big fan of sweepers in this set, especially with cards like Twin Blade Geist that generate value when they die and become auras, so it's almost like the last previous set where removal wasn't that great. Obviously, they aren't creatures, but it's still an aura. Yeah, and then there's Repository Scob, which is fine. Yeah, it feels bad having a creature like Repository Scob generate value and then using Path of the Peril to wipe it. That being said, if it goes late in the pack and I'm in black-white somehow, I'll still play it. You can still splash this, I guess, if you end up green-black splashing whites, or somehow if you're in red-black and you're afraid of, and you're playing a much more controlling game plan, Path is good. But, I mean, I also don't fault anyone for just taking Weaver Blossoms here, and I think this is the best green common. Anger, also very strong if you have multiple copies, especially in blue-red with Kessig Flame Breathers. But yeah, I wouldn't fault anyone for taking Weaver, and I think it's the best green common. Allows you to go multicolor, allows you to ramp into big creatures that you normally might not want to play, and they tend to wheel, since the only real decks that can play them are the ramp decks, and they're still quite good. Yeah, I'd first pick Voice of the Blessed. Obviously, you want a lot of life gain with this card, so you want to pair this with multiple Traveling Ministers. Without Traveling Ministers, I think this card is dead, and I think you want at least like 1 or 2 Traveling Ministers to really make this viable. But so I can always see taking like Bleed Dry, Abrade, Flame Blessed Bolt over this. But I would still take this over maybe Traveling Minister and hoping the Traveling Minister wheels. There's also Undead Butler, best in the blue-black exploit deck. Sanguine Statuette had a bit of a good, was almost considered a mythic uncommon at the start of the set, but then as the set progressed, it just became an okay card. Outside the black-red blood deck, you don't really want to play it, and you can't really do anything with this until turn 3, where you can play this, maybe sack a blood to get in for 3. So yeah, I take Voice of the Blessed, nice black-white gold rare. Alright, Felstinger, I'm kind of down on this card too. At the start of the format, I thought this was, like, again, one of the mythic uncommons. And, you know, it is a 3-for-1, which is very strong. You draw 2 cards, you trade this off, even for a removal spell, that's fine. But if you don't have a lot of exploit, it's kind of awkward. So you do want to value 1-drops with Felstinger, Lantern Bearers, and Voldaren Epicures come to mind. Wouldn't even fault... I wouldn't even fault, exploiting a Traveling Minister. But yeah, it does feel kind of weird sometimes having to exploit your 2-drop. That's not like, for example, a Doom Dissenter. But I guess with like cards like Bloodpel Celebrant, it's still fine because these do get blanked in the later games, and then just being able to generate a blood token when it dies is fine. So yeah, Felstinger is very strong. Yeah, not sure if I would take it over Braid. I would still maybe take it over Bleed Dry. Maybe I would take it over Braid. Like, the value of this is just too powerful. Yeah, I definitely first pick Felstinger. Childergrave has also been a bit of an improvement. I think it could be the second best blue common, but either way, blue's commons aren't great outside of Lantern Bearer. This is just a solid one, and even then it doesn't kill a creature and only taps it down. So if you're behind, it only buys you some time, but better if you're aggressive. So Felstinger is good. Consuming Tides is a pretty unplayable rare. because it doesn't really balance every permanent non-land permanent they control, so they can still have cards. And this seems more like a commander card, since it says each player and then each opponent, so it rewards you for multiple players. Definitely a component, definitely a commander rare, which is kind of fun and cute. Best card in this pack is Blood Crazed Socialite. Like, it just, anything that generates a blood token almost in this set is pretty powerful. Especially this, if you follow this up with Falkenrath Celebrants, you can just keep attacking with a 5/5 Menace, and this card is great. Between this and Diregraph Scavenger as a second best black common, they're both close. If you're new, you were in black-red, I would prefer the Socialite. If you didn't know you were in black-red, then Diregraph Scavenger was more flexible and still kind of close in power level. So, Socialite is excellent. Alright, a pretty weak pack. I actually wouldn't mind first taking Anger here. Maybe if we do end up blue-red, this card is great, but everything else is just medium. The blue-black deck is okay. I don't think it's tier 1, so I don't want to really force Stitch Assistance. Like, I'd rather be in blue-red any day over blue-black. Blue-black is still a very fun deck and can still be really powerful if all the pieces come together. And a lot of the commons do tend to wheel because, again, just like the green ramp deck, most players don't want to take the blue-black exploit cards unless and the enablers and the payoffs, since it's only good in that archetype. And then, for example, not every black card wants to be played in a black-red deck or a black-white deck. So you're most likely going to get the black and blue cards that only could play well in the exploit deck. Still fine common, but I would still take Ancestral Anger, but pretty weak pack. Yeah, this pack sucks. I just take the Foreboding Statue. I don't think this is like a insane uncommon or a slam dunk uncommon, but it's solid. You can just play this in any deck. Sometimes if you're splashing or ramping into your 5-drops like the previous draft that we had, like we had triple Falkenrath Celebrants, this card is quite good. But overall, just a fine card. I would still take, Traveling Minister and even Falkenrath Celebrants over at Pack 1 Pick 1. Fine, because it helps you ramp and then becomes a 5/5. The weakness is that it's just very slow and then vulnerable to a lot of removal in this set. So, yeah, Foreboding Statue would still be my pick. Restless Bloodseeker and Fierce Retribution. Restless Bloodseeker I find very excellent in decks that can just generate life consistently, so mostly black-whites, but in red-black there are some ways to generate blood too. And then, yeah, this almost becomes a threat that must be dealt with if you just keep gaining life consistently, since it'll eventually become a 3/3 that can keep draining the opponent, draining the player. 5 mana is a steep cost, but either way, like, if you aren't going to activate the ability, sometimes if you just keep gaining life, you can just generate more blood, and as we all know, blood's the most powerful mechanic in this set. It just prevents flood, and then allows you to almost draw a card if this card lands in the late game. Yeah, I would probably take it over Fierce Retribution. Fierce is a good removal spell, but it's also situational. Not very good if you're aggressive. Better if you're in a more defensive deck. And 6 mana is a lot sometimes to keep up. And this has a much more unique effect and can potentially generate a lot of value and help you win the game. So I do like this uncommon, but I would still take the top 5 commons over this card. Easy Abrade. Vampire's Vengeance is also quite strong. Like, unless you're playing in a deck full of 2-drops, I don't really like this. This might just become a dead card if you're facing against a Vampire's deck. So if you aren't playing this in black-red, it can be a little bit of a bad card, since if you don't have much ways to generate blood tokens to discard this against Vampire's deck later, this can just get stuck in your hand all day and it does nothing. You might have to just play 3 mana just to cycle this away and generate a blood. Overall, it's still a very strong card and can really punish the blue-white decks, since they have a lot of 1/1 flyers. But I still take a Braid over at Pack 1 Pick 1 to stay more flexible. Squire is okay, medium too. Again, I've talked about the black commons, and there's a lot of 4-drops in black. And, this can be kind of awkward, because if it gets answered once you tap out for it, it doesn't generate a blood token, unlike the Socialite, so you don't generate much value. but it's an okay card. You still maybe play in your black decks if you don't have the Diregraph Scavenger or the Blood Craze Socialite. So yeah, has a decent effect, so almost becomes a creature that the opponent can't afford to block and chump all day, so just take the Braid here. Easy Bleed Dry, and then there's Weaver Blossoms. Panic Bystander is pretty good in black-white too. I find it very difficult to transform this outside of black-white. But, you know, sometimes if this is going late and you're a white drafter, you can just pick this up as a random 2-drop that can gain you a bit of life if this trades off or when your creatures trade off. But this is only mostly a black-white gold card since you want to transform this eventually with like a Heron of Hope and then activate and then have like a 3/5 that can generate death, that can become a Death Toucher, which is difficult to deal with later on. So, yeah, I do like Panic Bystander, but I wouldn't take it over either Bleed Dry or Weaver Blossoms. Nurturing Presence is also a card you would only really play in the blue-white deck. So this card is also a card that's quite good in the right archetype, but still take Bleed Dry here. Alright, Blood Craze Socialite, and that's it. And then our final pack. Alright, Cemetery Luminary is a bomb. I never really got to open this or play with this at all. But I did play it against it, and trust me, it's definitely up there as one of the A-level rares. Not S tier because it still dies to like a Braid, but yeah, it's definitely a card that must be answered immediately. So when the ETBs are attacked, you just exile a card from a graveyard. So it could be anything, and then you may look at the top card of your graveyard at any time, and then once each turn you may cast a spell from the top of your library if it shares a card type with a card exile with Cemetery Luminaire. The only weakness of this card is that it's double blue, so you want to maybe play this in a slightly favored blue deck and can be a little bit difficult to cast. It's a 3 toughness creature, so it can die to a Braid. And then the third weakness of this card is that it says once each turn you may cast a spell. So even if you exile a land with this, you can't cast the land on top of your library. The reason why is that lands aren't considered cast; they're considered played. So keep that in mind whenever you play the Illuminator or play against someone with an Illuminator. They can't quote unquote cast spells. I mean cast lands. So even if they exile land, they still can't play it for free. Still a very powerful card, and yeah, just very efficient, and yeah, definitely a slam dunk first pick out of all the other commons and uncommons in the set. So there you guys have it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. 2 back-to-back Gruul drafts to kick off the new year, and I'll probably just do another video later. Not sure how much more I want to do, maybe 2 more before double feature or Kamigawa comes out, which is a really fun set because Ninjutsu is all coming back, and that could be a fun way to see what cards can go into the Ninjas deck for Modern, Pioneer, or even Commander or Brawl. So there you have it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and yeah, have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye.